Hey, what's up, Junkies? Welcome back to another episode of Culture Junkies Live. I'm Kishiro and my boy Junkies right here with me. We're at Green Brain Comics today. It's Free Comic Book Day. 2019 is the 18th year that this event has gone on, and for all the local comic shops, they invite all their potential customers from the neighborhood and the community, and they give out free comic books and build goodwill, which promotes reading and health, or not, I shouldn't say health, but stoke the flames of fandom for all the young.
Flames of fandom. We're gonna let Dan pass on through.
Dan,
going
through.
So I see that it's posted to the event page, but it doesn't ask me for permission.
You have to go to your Facebook page now to put it live, so you can do that. Sorry, we're kind of helping Dan get his stuff together. So,
I need a lot more help than that.
Yeah, you do. So anyway, guys, we're here. We got invited by Dan and Katie over at Green Brain Comics to host the event live stream. We're going to be live for 2 hours from 11 until 1 p.m. We may have a few special guests joining the show, but we're going to entertain you for a couple of hours and talk about what's out on the shelves today. Also, today is May 4th, so it's May the 4th be with you. It's Star Wars Day. What's that?
50 books.
50 books. Is it 50 or 51?
I think it's 50 or 51.
Yeah, 50 or 51 books. Yeah,
that's crazy, man.
Yeah, that's a whole lot of books to come out and read. I mean, it runs the gamut, really. Like, whether you're young at heart, whether you're old, whether you like superheroes, whether you don't like superheroes, there's something in store for everybody. I'm looking out in the crowd, and we see a bunch of cosplayers out there. There's people standing in line. The young girl over there wearing a Captain Marvel jacket right now. I mean, that looks really, really cool.
Hold on.
Yeah,
Captain Marvel jacket with a Captain America purse.
Oh man, she's really doing it. Yeah,
awesome.
That is awesome. I'm sure she's smiling at the camera, so she heard us talking about her. But
definitely.
Yeah, so honestly, Free Comic Book Day means a lot to a lot of people. Obviously, for me, I love reading comic books. I've always loved reading comic books. Ever since I was probably younger than my son. My son is 15 right now.
Since you were yay high.
Yeah, since I was like super yay high.
Right.
But Free Comic Book Day wasn't around when I was a kid, and I think having an event like this in the community means a lot. What would it be like to you if we had Free Comic Book Day when you were younger? What would it kind of mean to you?
Well, me being the extravagant, overspending soul that I am, free is always a good thing.
Absolutely.
I mean, if I can get something for free, I'm going to go ahead and get something for free.
Right.
But at the same time, if you look at it, the fact that they actually took the time, the industry, right, took the time to do something that's good for literacy. It's good to get kids excited about reading, and kids excited about there's different heroes and all that sort of thing. Like you said, they cover a huge range of genres. It's not just superhero stuff. Obviously there's a free Avengers book. There's a free Turtles book.
Doctor Who.
Yeah, there's a free Doctor Who book. But I mean, it's like it covers not just your superhero stuff, like you said, a whole bunch of different things. So I mean, it gets kids excited about reading, not just the stuff that's the Captain Americas and your Iron Man, but some other things that can open their mind to a lot of different types of literature. So I mean, it's a good gateway. So and I'm
absolutely
really proud of the
is.
industry for giving back that way.
Yeah, and what warms my heart kind of is like a lot of people say comic book reading is down. That people aren't buying books, but I see a bunch of young kids out here. And they're out here, they're reading the books, they're excited about seeing, their favorite superheroes or learning about new characters that they've never really heard, or heard of before. And, they're just enjoying it all. We see a lot of, disabled kids also coming out.
Yeah.
It's always important to put a smile on a young kid's face, isn't it?
Exactly. And that's what it's really all about. Because at the same time, at the end of the day, we're old, grizzled vets and when it comes to the genre and when it comes to the fandom. But it's hard for us because, again, we're older, a little bit more jaded in what we like, what we dislike.
You speak for yourself. I'm not jaded. You're jaded.
Well, hey, whatever, it works for me.
Yeah.
No, but at the end of the day, it really comes down to getting these kids excited about something, whether it's DC, whether it's Marvel, Image, IDW, doesn't matter. It's all about the reading and all about them having fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, going to turn it to a wide shot really quick. So, our friend Dan Merritt, who with his wife Katie Merritt, they own Green Brain Comics. and they're kind of a pillar of the community here in Dearborn.
They had the mayor out here, man. Every single year they get the mayor out here to open it up. It's awesome.
It is awesome. It is awesome. And obviously, Dan and Katie are great hosts. They do a lot for the community. They're always running community events here at Green Brain Comics. They're doing like an open mic night, like a poetry slam type night that they do. They do tabletop gaming night here at Green Brain Comics. It's really awesome what they're able to do with their comic book store. At one point in my life, I wanted to be a comic book, store owner, and I can't imagine how uplifting it would be to have, people like Dan and Katie in the community if I was younger.
All right, now you know full well if you were a comic book store owner, you'd be sitting back reading books, wouldn't be paying attention to your customers.
Yes, I would.
Right, whatever, man.
Yes, I would.
Man, you got the attention span.
What?
Right,
what are you talking about?
We'll leave it alone. No, but no, you're absolutely right. I mean, that's definitely kind of a dream job for a lot of people in the fandom, and it's work. It's definitely hard work, and these guys have been at it for a long time, and they do an outstanding job.
Yes, they have. So,
big shout out to Green Brain. Obviously, Dan and Katie, we love you guys, and definitely appreciate you having us out.
Yeah.
But man, I couldn't even imagine, because I remember when Green Brain was at a different location.
Yeah, they're right down the street.
Yeah, we used to be down the street, and now they moved over here, and I think they actually took over what was used to be they had half of the store, then the other half was the music store, and then I think they ended up getting both halves for themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's huge.
In this location here in Dearborn, right here on Ford Road, I remember when they opened the store. Remember, it was still partitioned off, like the music store was still on the other half of the store. It was like,
hold on, this is Michigan Avenue.
Was it Michigan? Oh yeah, sorry, Michigan Avenue. I'm sorry. We're on Michigan Avenue, not Grove Road.
That's why you can't have a comic book store, man. You
Come on.
Attention.
Yeah, come on.
Okay.
All right. So I remember when they first opened this store, it was like half of what it is right now when you see here in this wide shot. Where you see past that partition in the wall, where it's like a blue-green wall, that part was partitioned off, and the other half was the music store.
Right.
It was kind of a weird thing, but it was also nice to see that music store closed. Like you said, Dan and Katie bought the other half of the building, and they expanded and created an even bigger place to service their customers, and create a lot of goodwill in the community.
And I think that also serves as a testament to them as store owners and business owners, because if you look at it, I was in Chicago last month, and obviously Chicago, what is it? Kevin Smith, I think, has his one of his comic book stores out there, I believe. And obviously now he's kind of a different breed, so that you can't even really count that with the general comic book store owner audience.
Right.
But when it comes down to it, a lot of the stores I was seeing were either downsized or they were closing.
Yeah.
So for them to expand, and put together a great shop like they have, that's a testament to just how much they have a passion for the business and how well they're doing. So,
and not to disparage a lot of those other comic store owners, but I think it's a testament to how, the type of people that Dan and Katie are, that they're so warm and welcoming, they're personable, and they invite everybody in. They almost treat you like family, when you come in the door. They're always happy to see you. Those other comic store owners, okay, there's, another comic shop that we know that's up on 12 Mile in Berkeley.
we don't say no names.
Yeah, we're not saying no names.
I know
Exactly.
what you're talking about.
So, but it's almost like a night and day comparison when you think about that store, which has always been really big, had a whole bunch of toys and stuff like that, but it felt so cold, almost like a dungeon. You come here, and it's totally different. It's open, it's wide, it's vibrant. They've got a lot of stuff.
Right.
They're always talking to you and engaging with you. It's great.
I mean, and then again, that just goes, that's different owning style, different management style, but also personality. So, I mean, and again, it starts with Katie and Dan, and it expands from there, because all their staff is great. All the people are very friendly, very helpful,
Yes,
very
they are.
knowledgeable. That's the other thing that always seems to be the disconnect, because essentially, remember the whole trope of, the electronics boutique GameStop employee, always trying to push on you something that you might not care about, something that you might not even know about or even be interested in, but they're trying to push it because that's what the corporate wants things to get done. And now full disclosure, I worked at electronics boutique way back when.
Way back in the day.
But I'm a gamer. I've been a gamer for my entire life. I play games, lived, breathed, ate, slept games, enjoyed playing video games. So I had zero problems getting into conversations, with the exception of sports games. Still hate them. with the exception of sports games, I could talk about any type of game with any type of gamer, and it was a legit conversation because I wasn't just towing the corporate line and just making oh well have you pre-ordered the new Madden, the standard line. So it was a lot of fun when I did it, but again. Comic books is a whole different beast because there's so much out there that and again, there's going to be people that they cover what they cover, they like what they like, but when you get somebody that's knowledgeable and can dip in and out of any conversation in the comic realm, that's a lot. It's awesome too.
And you would think about it, genre culture, which is which we've basically been absorbing and consuming for pretty much all of our lives.
Oh yeah.
It touches so many different people. I'm looking out in the crowd and I see white, black, I see Asians, I see Hispanics, and they're male, they're female. They're all coming together to share in this thing, and that's what makes geek fandom a great community to even be a part of, even though sometimes it can be really divisive. Like when you talk about, you prefer Marvel or DC, or if you're worrying about the DCEU films and how bad they are,
right.
Let's face it, they have been bad until recently.
I like how you set that little slide jab.
I'm just saying, it's the truth though. Okay. It's the truth though.
And again, we've gone ad nauseum with the whole DC thing, and it is what it is. Now, there's always going to be times when certain movies take off, certain ones don't. And I think that's one thing that we are noticing about fandom is it's a hard divide.
Yeah.
And I think part of that is because you have a lot of people that were introduced to these characters via the movies, and the movies are kind of where they got their introduction, they kind of where they got their start. So if all you know is the movies, and literally that's all you know, yeah, Marvel's got an edge because there's 22 of them. And for a couple of misses, not even hard misses, but a couple of smart, minor misses, they've been successful all the way through for 11 years. So that in and of itself is just crazy. To think that, and not even just successful. You started with something and you pushed an idea through 22 movies.
Right. It's unheard of.
Right. And it kept it going. I mean, Bond has been around since the 60s, but they're all separate stories. The only time they ever had a direct sequel of sorts was from Casino Royale to Quantum of Solace. That's it.
That was the first time. Yeah.
Bond has been, little separate stories. Star Trek, separate stories. Some continuity, obviously.
Right, obviously.
But not a direct, sequel or anything like that.
Right.
So.
But we'll be talking about, the big Marvel movie a little bit later on today. We're also going to touch on Star Wars. No spoilers. I think Anthony Russo said the spoiler ban will be lifted on Monday. Like,
what's funny?
What's that?
I heard about that yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I said that we were going to start talking spoiler stuff in Culture Junkies Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Go to Facebook, like Culture Junkies, do all that good stuff right now. If you're watching this on YouTube, go over to Facebook. If you don't have a Facebook, sign up for Facebook. Go to Culture Junkies. Let us be your first page.
Right.
But anyway, I was saying that, May 6th, I believe, is what Monday is. I was saying, May 6th, we're going to open it up to spoilers. So if they're saying the same thing, great minds think alike. So, I mean, hey.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely what they're saying right now. So I would love to actually kind of check in on the chat, see what everybody's saying right now.
It's about to be trouble right here.
Is it going to be trouble?
Now that some of these people aren't on the show, they're going to get all sorts of unruly.
Like, Daido Kuji is checking in on YouTube, right? He actually said that, remember how I said that you're jaded, speak for yourself?
Yeah.
I'm not jaded. He says, yeah, dude, you're jaded too. and you're wrong, dude. You're wrong. I'm not jaded.
Hey.
I'm not jaded. Just, you know what? Me and him got into a little argument earlier today. If you missed our live stream last week, Wednesday, he was getting on me for not liking that Sonic the Hedgehog trailer, the way it looked. Oh, it's our boy Aaron. What's up, dude?
Oh my goodness.
How you doing, man? Sit down, man. So we can catch up.
Sit
down so we can catch up, dude.
This man, ain't seen this man in about 50 years.
Yeah, man, it's been a long time, dude. How you doing?
Let me get
good to see you, man. He just moved back in town, man. He was living out in California with his family, a little while. Now he came back. Now, man, we known this dude since he was a little teenager.
Since he was knee high to a
high school days.
Yeah, high school days, man.
It's been a while, man. Good to see you.
Yeah, so what you been up to, dude?
Oh man, just been around. Like you said, I've been out in California, San Francisco for a long time. Came back to be with family. You know, had got married, had a wife and child. You know, and
It's a tear to my eye.
Right. It's just like,
have a 2-year-old daughter.
Yeah.
oh man.
Oh man.
She's gorgeous. She's
Awesome.
Oh yeah,
Awesome.
man. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Happy
Thank
for
you.
you.
Yeah, and happened to get a job with a game publisher.
Awesome.
So you're doing it's not software like you're not PC. It's like is it PC or is it Xbox or like console games?
Both PC, console, and mobile too.
Oh, and mobile too. Okay.
Nice.
All right. Super.
Nice.
Cool. So like how many projects have you seen through to launch already? Or are you working on something right now?
I'm working on something right now. I've actually been responsible for a few launches of games too as well.
Okay.
Awesome, man. That's definitely awesome. So now we here on Free Comic Book Day. We catching up now because, God, man, it's been at least 8 years, if not more. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So I mean, it's been a long time. We've known this band since a company called Fantasticon. Which, oh my God, that was some fun.
Dude, that was the best job we ever had. I mean, literally, that was the best job we ever had. That was the most fun we ever had.
That was all sorts of fun.
Yeah, you talking about we were in the office from sun up to sundown.
Yes. I remember those. I remember those days.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Those are the days of upcoming of Napster and all that stuff.
Oh man. Yes.
Yeah.
Napster and LimeWire.
Yes.
We've seen them all come in. We've seen them all go.
Right.
But oh my goodness, man. So it's the topic of the day. We're gonna have to throw it in there eventually. Avengers Endgame. Have you seen it?
Yes, I did.
You did? What'd you
No
think?
spoilers.
No spoilers. What'd you think?
What did you think?
It was awesome. It was well done. It tied in like everything for the whole universe and non-stop like action through the whole thing. Basically, it didn't feel like 3 hours went by.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people were saying. They were like, 3 hours. I don't know if I can do it. I got to use the bathroom, this and that. Man, you got in that movie, you were moving. You
Right.
were just like,
And it never felt like 3 hours.
It didn't.
Never.
It really
felt
didn't.
like 3 hours.
It just breezed right by.
oh yeah, they did, man. The Russos, I have to tip my hat.
Oh, we're good.
Oh no, we're good.
We're good.
Either way though, yeah.
Good.
No, I have to tip my hat to the Russos because the Russos did like the almost impossible of taking over 11 years worth of stuff, basically, and then just putting it all together, bookending it, tying up loose ends. I mean, it was crazy.
It
what they did.
was very smart what they did.
Oh yeah,
I was riveted through the whole entire thing.
yeah.
So
Yeah, and that's what like everybody's been pretty much been saying. It's just like just floored by just how massive it was and just things that they put on screen that you never thought you were ever going to see on screen. They did it, and it was amazing. It was phenomenal. So,
yep.
what you do, man? What you do?
No, I didn't do anything.
Oh,
no,
okay.
No, we're fine. I was just checking the chat. That's all.
Oh, okay.
So, what books are you interested in right now? Like, what are you looking at right now?
Let's see. Right now,
got that
picked up
My Hero Academia.
My Hero. Pick up My Hero.
There you go. There you go.
It's all about heroes right now.
Yeah.
Man. It's dominating the scene right now. So I
yeah.
had to pick up this bad boy on for Free Comic Day.
Oh, my man made it. All right. Super Nerd is in the house. He'll join us in a few minutes.
There's the rest of the trouble.
Right.
So let me see that. Hold on, let me see it. Let me get this one, get a shot of this for the camera. All right, so we got My Hero Academia for Free Comic Book Day.
Yeah.
Our good friend Aaron picked that up.
Yep.
I mean, that's just a small sample because there's over 50 books sitting over there for free. Now, granted, you can't get all 50 for free. That'd just be ridiculous. But the cool thing is, Green Brain has partnered with Gleaners. They partner with some of the can drives. If you bring a can good down or a gently used book, gently used, I ain't talking about like cover falling off or pages missing. We're talking about a used book. You can get some extra free books. So you start off with 3. Bring a canned good down, that's another book. Bring a free book, a used book down, that's another book. So now you're up to 5. So there's different ways to get a couple of extra free books, which again, I don't think anybody here is going to get to all 50.
No.
I just don't.
I highly doubt that.
I highly doubt it's possible.
I highly doubt that. But no, them doing something like that, working with Gleaners to do a canned food drive in conjunction with Free Comic Book Day is another example of why Dan and Katie are exemplary pillars of the community, because they're always uplifting the community, they're always doing something to give back to the community that they live in, and that's that they are to be commended for doing stuff like
definitely, man. I mean, again, why do you think the mayor of Dearborn comes down every single year for this event? Because it's just that connection, the fact that they're like you said, they're doing good things in the community and they're keeping things going. And again, it's a great event. I smelled them hamburgers back there. I might have to get one of these days.
They smell so good.
Well, you tasted one, so I don't want to hear.
Hey,
they smell. You already had one.
I know. I did. I took a bite of my son's hamburger, just one. It didn't have any cheese on it. It didn't seem like it. It was slathered with mustard.
Well, that's part of the. I think that was. I forgot that particular name. I'll have to get it. But there's also the hero and villain food truck out there as well.
I've had them before. I've had them for years. They are good. I'm trying to remember. I think the one that I had, I think I had the Kingpin. They have a sandwich called the Kingpin, named after Wilson Fisk. It's a good sandwich, really good sandwich. They have a lot of really good stuff. I think they had one named after. They have one named after Sonic the Hedgehog. They have. Mario from Nintendo. They've had a Mega Man one. I think they got a Mega Man themed food thing. So I'm looking forward to that.
See that? All we had to do was get them talking about food, man. Just that's all right though, man. Yeah. That's cool. Nah. Hey, I like to eat too. There ain't nothing wrong with that, man. So,
man.
Aaron, appreciate you coming through, man.
Good to see you, brother.
You get back and get the rest of your books.
Yeah, man. We'll have to catch up. Hey, Will's gonna be in town next week, so you don't have to get with us, man.
Oh, fantastic! I haven't seen him in like ages.
No. So
definitely keep in touch.
Fantastic.
One of us has your number. If not, we'll get it. And
we'll reach
make
out.
sure we keep in touch, man.
For sure. I'm always connected to you guys on social media. You can definitely reach out to me on Facebook.
All right, absolutely will, man.
Always good. Always a pleasure. Good seeing you after all these years.
All right, man.
So definitely. Thanks for coming through, man.
No problem. Thank you.
So in a minute we'll get Super Nerd on the show. He had a little bit of trouble.
Technical difficulty.
He had a little bit of trouble getting into getting to the shop, but he's putting on his shirt. He kind of checking in. He's going to be doing a little volunteering here at Green Brand. Come on over, man. Come on over, man. Yeah. Come on over, man.
Oh no,
we're already live, man. Come on over.
No,
man.
The trouble. No, the trouble's really going to start.
Oh snap!
Oh my goodness, Super Nerd Plus. How you doing?
What's up, man?
Fantastic. How's everybody doing?
Good, man.
I'm doing
good.
Oh no, we're right there.
Okay,
right there, right.
All right, cool.
Yeah, straight ahead, man.
So
you can scoot over just a touch.
So you didn't do proper maintenance on your car, and you just breaking down. What's going on, man?
It was weird. So I'm driving. Next, it stopped. It slowed down. Oh, what is going on? And I'm turning. And I was like, hope I get to the gas station parking lot real fast. And then I'm hitting the gas. It's just nothing happened. Didn't move.
Yo.
Oh my God! Hope I don't get hit. So finally, I put my foot on the brakes. And then I put it in park, and it went.
Bruh, you know what? That might have been my fault.
Why is that?
Because I was getting my stuff together, and I accidentally might have triggered. The gauntlet just a little bit. It might have snapped away your transmission.
It could have happened.
It's possible.
Yo,
I'm just saying it's possible.
I ain't gonna lie. That sounds like that's gonna be some bread.
Yeah,
sounds
but
like
my mechanic is good though.
Mechanic's good, man.
Shout out to the mechanic.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Not
So
Tony Stark.
right.
Well,
So-
I mean, he technically is a mechanic, so to speak.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Engineer,
Tony Stark called himself the mechanic
Yes.
in Iron Man 3.
Yes,
so I'm
yes.
just saying.
True.
So
hey.
and stickers up to all the kids here. There you go, young man.
Yeah,
Looking
stickers.
awesome. Looking awesome.
Right.
All right.
So yeah, man, these buttons that we got.
Oh man,
These buttons are really pretty dope, man. I've never seen them be oval shaped like that. That's pretty unique.
Wait, hold on. How old are you? You've never seen an oval button in your life?
No, I haven't really. No, I've seen like circular buttons. I've never really seen like oval buttons. I'm serious. I'm being totally serious. You shut up.
Whatever,
I've
man.
never seen one either.
Okay, hold on.
Yes.
Hold on.
Yes.
So realistically, you guys are trying to tell me that you've never ever in your life seen a Batman logo button, because those are oval.
No, a lot of times they squeeze the logo in and it's circular.
Leave my show.
No, I'm serious.
Come on, man.
I'm being totally serious.
Okay,
I'm being totally serious.
Whatever.
Our boy Tony Young is actually he's checking in. He's over on Twitch. He's at Star Clipper Comics in St. Louis. When you say what's up to Tony?
Oh wow,
man,
St. Louis.
Yeah, he's really good. Man, you see that Godzilla poster right there? I'm gonna get that. Like that Godzilla poster is really
That's
dope.
the only one in the shop. That gentleman right there.
No,
is buying the last one.
there was another one.
I bought the other one and gave it to him.
Nah.
So you have no opportunity to get that guy.
Oh, come on, man. We need stuff for our studio. We need posters like that.
We do.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah,
So where'd you get that Ant-Man helmet?
I got the Ant-Man helmet yesterday because I was bored.
because
And
he
that's
was
why I
bored.
love GQ.
You see this guy?
I love
Why you
GQ
not
to
just
death.
saying?
He will literally
What's
say,
your motto about discretionary income? What is it?
Look, disposable income is meant to be disposed of.
Right.
So you have to spend the money
Exactly.
when you have the money to spend.
Yes.
Now again, don't go into the poorhouse. Don't not pay your bills and all that other good stuff. But when you got the money, buy it. You can't take it with you.
Mm-hmm. You know, there's people, men like this guy are the ones that keep the economy afloat because he's liberally spending his cash.
Exactly.
and it's not
All
a
you guys
bad
can
thing.
thank me. I'll
Right.
be running for president next
Liberally
year.
spending his cash. I love it,
There you
dude.
go.
Just seeing this alone makes you want to go out and buy these things.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Just saying. I mean, I like this stuff.
Yeah, man.
Ant-Man helmet looks.
I mean, are they breathable? Like, can you really breathe in them? You know,
Yeah.
fairly well. So does this one light up? I can't really see it.
All of them light up. No, I'll get to that eventually. We'll get some shots of them lighting up.
Okay,
later. We
all right.
got a long time.
Yeah, we got a long show. We've been in for 20 minutes. So
Only thing missing is Cap Shield. Cap Shield is actually
yeah,
in the trunk.
It's in the trunk.
Nowhere to put it.
Right.
Let's just be
Yeah,
straight
yeah.
up. There's nowhere to put it.
Right.
Table ain't big enough, and we'll next year.
Right. Okay. And we'll be back next year at Green Brain, and we're going to be doing it a little bit bigger and
next
better.
year.
Yeah, next year is
gonna
going to be.
crazy.
Yeah, next year is going to be.
We might run a live trivia next year, so y'all be ready for that.
Yeah, be ready to come down for that. So anyway, guys, we've been in for 20 minutes. So let's talk a little bit about the comics that people can see here at Green Brain. We talked a little bit briefly. My Hero Academia is here. We'll bring that up again. But some of the other titles that are available today. So GQ, you had some titles
right,
that you said
all
you
right.
wanted to bring out.
Now, may the 4th be with you. Star Wars Adventures has got a book for kids, for the kids. So again, you have to get them started somewhere. You got to get them started right. Now, some people don't like Solo, and that's their fault. But this one seems to be more like kind of a solo offshoot story, talking about Han and Chewie, some of their adventures, some of the things they've done. That's a cool start for a kid. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Whatever feelings you have about the Star Wars standalones, Disney owning them, whatever, put that aside. It's about the kids getting into the books, doing something fun. This one's rated A for all ages. We also got a Doctor Who, dealing with the 13th Doctor. So
Unplug it and plug it back.
I mean, very, very cool. All sorts of good stuff there. So there's all sorts of things you can do. I've never personally been a Doctor Who fan. Don't hold that against me. This man right here,
I am.
Super Mary could probably talk about Doctor Who till the cows come
Well,
home.
I haven't
So-
seen the 13th Doctor in action.
You haven't seen the 13th
just
Doctor?
yet. Not in action just yet, but it will be on probably Amazon Prime just posted on
Okay,
it, so I'll
so you're
probably
gonna
check
binge
it out. I don't have cable, so I got the interwebs as my
Wow.
go-to.
All right, fair enough. Nothing wrong with that.
Bills, everybody, bills. But
There you go.
just in general, this is probably epic because we all know this is the first female Doctor.
That's true. Now that I did know.
Yeah. So now it brings the question we have more younger audience that want to see the female Doctor, especially little girls. They see the empowerment here, and I'm all for that. So
Okay, let's talk about that, because that's one thing that me, hyper duper, not really a misogynist as much as I used to be. But
I love that you admitted that, though.
I'm just saying. No, for real. In all seriousness, why are people having such a problem with the strong female characters that are being uplifted, brought up, put at the forefront for all these different films, these different hero stories and all that? What's going on with that? Because for me, I don't see any reason that you can't uplift young girls. They can have their fun. They can have their
put it in
role
back, where
models
the
essentially to
USB
look up to. There's various things. So there's zero reason that people are complaining about Captain Marvel, complaining about Wonder Woman, complaining about like all the different, hey Katie, complaining about all the different things they're complaining about, because it's like, and I can't talk about it because it's a spoiler.
Yeah.
So we'll leave that
Table
off to
that.
the side.
Right.
Yeah, we'll table that. But it's like, what's wrong with having strong female characters, strong female
sorry. Do your
heroes, taking these
Yes,
roles,
wave every time. That's dope.
leading the charge, doing their own thing, because guys have been doing it since the beginning of storytelling. So
Right.
let's just be honest. There's nothing wrong with letting women get their shine too.
And I think it's I call BS on certain men who don't think it's not okay for women empowerment. So one of my favorite female characters is Monet St. Croix. If you know who she is, look her up. M. From
I have
Generation
no
X.
idea. I have no idea who you're talking about.
So
there you go.
she-
You're very
You're
welcome.
welcome. You're welcome.
But here's the thing: a lot of men have female superheroes they like, and they act like they're not. Come on now. Like I said, my favorite is Monet St. Croix from Generation X. Well, she became part of X Factor down the road, but super strength, invulnerability, a little telekinesis. What else she has? Flight. So I mean,
Do you find it hard to really cheer for those? I mean, this is gonna sound hypocritical because Superman's my favorite, but do you find it hard to cheer for those catch-all superheroes, the ones that have multiple powers and seem like they're just a little too OP?
I mean,
Because Monet kind of almost would fit that bill.
yeah, she is. I mean, listen, same thing about Captain Marvel. She has.
But she has only one power set, really, when you think about it.
No, what about binary?
Yeah, she's got energy. No, that's her thing is all about energy absorption and projection, right?
Correct.
You do
So-
realize that is a wide range of power.
And it's a low level telekinesis, so she doesn't have everything. She's
Right.
probably not as strong as Superman, but she can lift up a few tons
Right.
and all that stuff, but she still can be taken down.
Okay.
But the same thing is, she is a cool character. She has the charisma, just everything. She's not been letting no guy take her down. Like, okay, this is BS.
That's
Get out
that's
my way.
still.
No, just-
You know what? Cheryl, you're absolutely right. That was the height of hypocrisy of Superman.
I knew he'd say
Superman
it. I knew he
is
would
your-
say something.
Superman is your guy.
Yeah, that's my
And
guy.
you talking about characters that have too many powers.
That's my dude.
Yeah, oh,
Dude,
yeah.
whatever, man. All-Star Superman showed that Superman is just annoying. Period.
Yeah, that's true.
Bar none. Like, come on, man. Now, again, I get it. It was a different time.
Yeah.
If Superman needed to have super knitting ability, they wrote it in.
Super
and he had
knitting.
it. Dude, it's real. Come on now. I've already looked down the list of the ridiculous powers they've given him.
Yeah.
And super knitting was one of them.
Yes.
So,
No, that is true. They were
So-
doing some really stupid things back in the day, man.
So, I mean, and
what
again,
about
it
now?
is what it is, though.
yeah.
What's the difference now? Like, that's why nobody can write a good Superman movie, because they don't know what to do with him.
Well, I think,
Simple as that.
and again, that always goes back to it's either kryptonite or magic. And it's like, if you got somebody that's so overpowered, it's like, for example, and Daido Kiuchi says this all the time, the Flash should never lose.
No,
Ever.
he shouldn't.
Like,
no, he shouldn't.
ever. So
No, he shouldn't.
when you get to something like that, and then you have Superman that's almost as fast. Some people have said he's just as fast. Some
No,
people
he's
have
not.
said he's fast.
He's
I
not.
know. I don't.
Yeah,
I
no,
don't
he's
agree
not.
either. I don't think he is either.
Yeah.
But the stuff that he can do,
Right.
he should never lose.
Yeah.
Any battle, any fight. That's why I like the Superman cartoon, because they depowered him.
Mm-hmm.
He, took some damage, whatever. And Darkseid got in his butt every single time they fought.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that you have to do that to tell a good story means that the character needs to be reimagined or changed or something, because he's too powerful. And like a lot of people like to compare Superman and Goku.
Right.
At least Goku gets his butt whipped, trains,
Yeah.
goes, through some stuff, and gets, he powers up, he levels up. Superman, when does he ever train? When has he ever actually had to train?
I mean, never really. Never.
And again, I was a kid. I liked Superman, and then I found Batman. And then
Oh my God! Here we go again with that. The bat. Worshiping at the altar of the bat. What else have we got?
Oh
coming out
man,
this
hold
week?
on now. Again, obviously you knew they had to do it.
Right.
Biggest movie.
There's
in
actually
the
two
world.
Avengers book out.
Oh, well, I didn't
today.
get the other one. I
Yeah.
didn't want to be greedy.
Right.
But there's an Avengers book out. Obviously, come on, it'd be crazy for
You
them
know what's
not to
good
have
about this
more.
one? You know what's good about this one is that God Ghost Rider's on the team. The Robbie Reyes one, especially since we know Robbie Reyes is, just got a new show announced on Hulu.
Yep.
So that's pretty important. Captain Marvel's part of the team.
The whole lineup is pretty awesome.
What?
The whole lineup of the team is pretty bad.
Oh yeah.
It's pretty awesome.
Like you got a hulked out She-Hulk. She's not like the supermodel She-Hulk anymore.
Right.
She's kind of like more like a savage Hulk, like Bruce Banner used to be.
Yep.
Black Panther's on the team. Cap, Iron Man, Thor, the Trinity basically
And it looks
of Marvel.
like Blade.
And Blade is on
Blade.
the
So they
team.
officially putting Blade on the
Yeah,
team.
and Blade is on the team.
Is an
Okay.
Avenger.
Yes, Blade is an Avenger.
So,
Yeah.
well, how long that's gonna last? You know how they put Blade on the team?
man,
Oh, hold
I
on
give it a
now.
year.
Again, Blade will be there if there's some vampires in the area. If there's some vampires, Blade will show up. He'll be all right. But no, in all honesty, here's the cool thing about that. It comes full circle. Because Blade technically from
Started the
Marvel's
MCU.
thing,
Yeah, it
is
started the
one-
movie thing.
Not so much the MCU, but just the viability of comic book movies.
Yes,
It
that
brought
is
it
true.
That
That is
brought
very
it
true.
back.
Yes.
Because after Blade, then
That is
obviously
true.
X-Men, Spider-Man, and all those things just kind of kept hitting.
Right.
So, man, we're going to be
Well,
talking Avengers for almost an hour.
No, that's
So-
true. But look, the other thing is that in here they have a backup story of the Savage Avengers, and the Savage Avengers stars Punisher, Wolverine. But here's the oddball in this group: Conan the Barbarian's on this team.
That's savage, man.
Yeah, dude, Conan the
But
Barbarian's on
here's
this
the
team.
crazy thing. That is a team of that shouldn't even be called the Avengers. That should just be called the Death Squad. Because if
Right.
those guys come after you, I don't
Yeah.
think you're going to be getting out of this in
Yeah.
one
Wasn't
piece.
somebody else on that team besides them three?
Yeah, no,
He's going to check that out.
Yeah, I'm gonna check that out.
Also, Spawn.
Number 300?
No.
No, I'm looking at the back. I'm sorry.
Well,
That's
it's
number one.
I don't know. Who knows? No, number 300 is coming in August,
Gotcha,
according to
gotcha.
the back. But Spawn. Come on, man. Who even thought they were going to bring Spawn back like that? I mean, Spawn
Right.
is awesome. Now, granted, Jamie Foxx.
Oh yeah,
Jamie Foxx is supposed to be playing Spawn. I don't know how I feel about that. I'm not completely sure how I feel about that. Might be good, might not.
All right.
Jamie Foxx is a great actor. Oh, what you got?
So here's the lineup of the Savage Avengers. You got Venom,
Oh,
you got
my
Conan the Barbarian, Brother Voodoo,
Oh my God.
Punisher, Elektra, and Wolverine.
Yeah, you're not
Come
getting
on,
out of that
dude.
room.
No,
Whatever
yeah.
room they get sent in, that room is done.
Yeah.
You guys
I
are
gotta pick
done.
that up.
Whoever they, that's
Right.
That's a hit squad.
Yeah.
So
period.
what else are these are the books, and obviously these are the books that
These are
we.
some of the
these are the
books.
books that we.
These are not all
Yeah,
of the
these are not
books.
all. These are the ones that we
51
actually
books, so.
wanted to see.
Well,
or that we came
Street
for.
Fighter. I'm a huge Street Fighter fan. I
Right.
like
I
Street
am
Fighter
too.
5. I don't care about the rest of y'all. But no, we got Sakura versus Karin or Karin, however you want to pronounce it.
Karin.
I mean, Street Fighter's been going strong. Udon has been doing their thing with Street
Yeah.
Fighter for at least 20 years now. At
Has it
least
been 20
feels
years?
Like, it feels like it because.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
When they first came out, I think it was like 1999 or 2000.
Yep.
When they first did their first book, because I remember because we are going back to Fantasticon when Darnell was going out to San Diego Comic Con. I think he went, and I was like, dude, you gotta get me a number 0 signed of Street Fighter, and he did. He brought me back one.
Really?
Yeah, signed by Ken Seudong, who was doing the art at the time.
I always
yeah.
love the artwork of Street Fighter.
Oh
Yeah,
the Street
no, it's
Fighter artwork
good.
is nice.
Definitely.
Some people don't like it, but I'm like, look, Capcom thought Udon's artwork was good enough to use it for that that HD remix that they did. So I mean, let's be real.
Right.
Now you got Vampirella, mature audiences.
Sex appeal,
Well,
that's what this is.
In all honesty, though, I think in my recollection, my memory, this is one of the first times I've seen a Vampirella book as one of the free books, though. If it's
Yeah,
possible, maybe
maybe.
they had some before.
Here's my
Yeah, I don't
thing.
quite recall.
She's the only character in how many years they never redesigned her costume.
They don't have to.
Don't
Right.
have to. But I'm- you know, like
Especially in this era of Me Too, the
Yeah,
Me Too
yeah,
movement,
yeah.
they haven't bothered to even
Oh,
try.
You guys are getting into
No, it's the truth.
deep
No,
water.
but it's the truth
It's
though.
not even about that.
It's the truth
Not
though.
like over the years,
Pirates
every,
of Dark Water over here.
every superhero iteration always had an upgrade. In
That's
costume.
true.
She had the same costume. Even when I was a kid, I remember seeing her.
But I think what it is because don't forget they did a live action movie with Talisa Soto, who also played Princess Katana in the Mortal Kombat movies. As
Wait a minute, there was a
Vampirella.
live action.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. They did a Vampirella movie.
You know what?
It felt
came
very
out in the 90s, right?
Yeah, it felt very direct-to-video TV movie of the week.
Obviously.
And she was wearing a costume. I was shocked. I was like, okay, well, there you go.
That's cool.
So, and again, now, the old classic, you got to always come back to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They've
Now-
been around.
And that's a book that you read, right?
I have not read the book in a long, long time.
Okay,
But you
so
used to read the book. I thought
used to
you.
read it,
Yeah.
It was really good series. I just hate sometimes they change up the artwork.
Yeah.
And
Well,
like the artwork now
that happens,
is back
man.
to what it used to be. Somewhat, but
You got to
still.
show some panels.
Oh,
Like
show
what?
some panels. All right. You can see that
Right there, yeah.
Right there.
They can't really see that.
They
But
can't really see
You
that.
can see it.
We'll get a little bit closer.
Yeah.
But
Here you go.
that's some of the panels, some of the work, some of the artwork for the Turtles by IDW. Now, one of the coolest things that I ever got to do was I got to interview Kevin Eastman. This was, God, back in the Fantasticon days again. Best job we ever had.
Yep.
Back in 2000. And actually met him and his wife, Julie Strain, in the same day. And I mean, it was just one of those cool days.
Yeah.
So that was all sorts of fun. San Diego Comic-Con. I don't know if I even want to go back to San Diego Comic-Con the way it is now, man. They got
Oh man, it's crazy, dude.
a lottery to
It's-
get your
it's crazy.
tickets and all
Right.
this other crazy stuff. So what else we got?
So for me, I've been reading this, and it's Robotech. I've been reading this run done by Titan Comics, I believe. It's kind of like a reimagining of the classic Robotech story.
Okay.
It started off the same, and then it kind of skewed in a different tangent because Captain Global was murdered, and so Lisa became the captain of the SDF-1. So it kind of changed everything, and then Rick ends up absorbing a bunch of protoculture and like turns blind and can't really be a pilot anymore.
Okay.
It's different, yeah. So
All right.
so I like
Now,
that.
In the chat, they're saying that they animated Vampirella up once and called
That's
her
Vampy.
Vampy.
I remember
Yeah.
that too. That was
Okay.
like back in the early 2000s
It was
too.
a Roger
Okay.
Corman movie for Vampiro. I do remember that. I do
Yeah.
remember that.
Okay, yeah. Thanks.
Well,
Shout out to
that-
Tony Young to bringing us that.
That explains a lot, then.
Roger Corman.
Hey, I was a
Roger
fan
Corman,
of Roger
Fantastic
Corman.
Four. Come on, man.
Listen, I'm a fan of Roger Corman growing up.
Some people said that his Fantastic Four was the most accurate Fantastic Four, even more than the Tim Story ones, and especially more than what's his name from Chronicle. The one that-
Oh yeah.
the Fan Four Stick. Yeah,
I liked the first Fantastic Four.
I did.
From Tim Story. I thought
Me
he
too.
did a
I thought it was
job.
good.
I thought he did well.
Yeah, I
But
thought he did a good job.
Some of the other stuff,
Yeah.
not so much.
Yeah, absolutely. So here's another book. Here's a book that actually Dan turned me on to. Deadly Class. Deadly Class is so popular and so good. It's now a show on Sci-Fi Channel.
Oh.
Have you checked that out?
I have not read the books or saw the show. Because you put me onto it.
Yeah.
And I just have not picked up the issue because I'm probably pick up the graphic now, the first graphic novel, so I can just go ahead and start reading it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even Katie said, "Go read it." So
Yeah, it's a good book. It's a good book.
Check it out.
You know, we have to get one of them to be on the live stream and actually talk to us. So I don't know whether it be I don't know if it'll be I don't know if it'll be Katie. I don't know if it'll be Dan. We'll get one of them on the show. We already talked about
Yeah, we talked about this one
My
with
Hero
Aaron.
Academia a little bit already.
All right. So
what was
got
another
here?
book?
H1 Ignition.
H1 Ignition.
What's that about?
Yeah, I'm not sure about
don't
this
know.
book, but the cover kind of caught my eye, especially since it features a lot of minority characters on it. Very feature prominently.
Who's the company?
The company is the cover was done by Yannick Paquette, who's a good good artist. Oh, you know what? This is no, it's Ignited. Ignited no wait.
It's not on the front.
This is no, it is not. Is it Humanoids?
This is why this man.
Yeah,
can't
Humanoids
own a comic book
Incorporated.
store.
Humanoids Incorporated. That's Humanoids Incorporated, and actually the chief creative officer of Humanoids Incorporated. You'll like this, John Cassaday.
Ooh.
Yeah.
He was at Comic-Con, Motor City Comic-Con last year, right?
I think so.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
And here's another one. You're like Director of Creative Development, Mark Wade.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So this is their company. You got to check out this book.
I'm a big
I
fan of
almost
Mark Wade.
guarantee you that book is good.
All right,
And obviously,
I haven't watched an episode yet.
dude, you're missing out.
I don't
You're
care.
so missing out.
I will get around to it. I'll get around to it.
Stranger Things is one of the better shows that have been done in recent years.
Absolutely, I agree.
Especially because it's all about it's retro nostalgia, but it's like horror at the same time. It's really good.
It just had that feeling of good horror, like
Yeah.
that most of these movies can't really do. I mean, I get it; it's a series, but it's done right,
Yeah.
and it brings back to my childhood of like old school horror.
Yep. Now here's a book. Also, here's the last book that I kind of wanted to point out. It's from the Whedonverse. It's Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Firefly. Now,
Connected?
No.
No.
Two separate books.
Two separate stories.
Two separate stories.
Two
We
separate
don't
stories,
want
but
the
it's
90s
one
all
book.
over again, would it?
But this book is,
that'd be an interesting crossover.
the Whedonverse used to be over at Dark Horse Comics forever.
Yeah.
And Boom Studios actually acquired the license, and they
Really?
and they rebooted everything. So this is a free comic book day, kind of teasing that. I think 2 or 3 months ago was when the first issue of Buffy the Vampire Slayer came out from Boom Studios.
And
So
I'm
yeah.
a huge Boom Studios fan.
Yeah.
So yes, I
Well, like, what are the books? I forget. What other books does Boom Studios put
well,
out?
some of the books there was like a couple of miniseries that kind of gone now.
Yeah.
But, the main one that I was reading, shoot, what is it? I gotta look at my pull list because I can't remember off the top of my head right now. But the one I liked the most was it Kennel? I think it was called Dog Kennel. I forgot. It was.
Not familiar.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, it's really funny. It's a really good series. So basically, it's perspective of a dog that's in like jail, and he does it like and know why he's getting locked up, but it's literally they're like anthropomorphic dogs. So they're walking and talking like humans, but they're in jail. They're trying to get out of jail, but from our perspective, we see them walking and talking. But from the human's perspective, they're really little regular dogs.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably the best book I ever read. It's hilarious.
Nice.
That sounds crazy.
It is
Nice.
crazy.
That's
it's like
cool,
a little
though.
mini
Nothing
series,
wrong with
so.
that.
All right, so that's kind of all the books that we kind of wanted to highlight on the stream. You definitely should come down, visit your local comic shop. Hopefully you're on your mobile device and you're in the local comic shop watching
Well,
us
heck,
right now.
if you in Michigan, within,
Come on down to Green
I
Bay.
don't know. I would say about 20, 30 miles. You may as well drive on down and, check us out.
Come
Yeah,
on down.
yeah. Come on
Green
down, say
Bay.
hi. Maybe we'll put you on the show. We don't have any guests lined up right now. It's just gonna be the three of us kind of holding it down and really talking about stuff. So the next thing I wanted to talk about, right? So Avengers Endgame, obviously we know is basically the biggest movie, probably the biggest movie we've ever seen.
Dude,
Absolutely.
it's at 1.7 billion as of last night.
As of
Shooting
last
for
night.
3 billion. I'm going for 3 billion.
You going for $3 billion?
I think it can. 'Cause if
It-
it made 1.2 in opening weekend,
Right.
It's at 1.7 right now.
And that's
We
just
have-
Friday. Yeah.
Right. We haven't even gotten into this weekend. 'Cause
Right.
You go, all the people that said, dude, I'm going to avoid the crowd.
Right.
I can't go see it. It was sold out.
Dude, you said it was sold out yesterday.
There was still some shows yesterday that were sold out.
Right.
And
So-
go ahead.
What about the international market? They haven't hit that yet, has
No,
it?
the international
Oh, no,
market
sorry,
is
no, it
what's
came
really
out of-
pulling
it
in
came
the
out-
money.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's-
okay.
Yeah, the international market is over $1 billion by itself.
Yeah, by itself. And that's ridiculous.
Yep.
Over $1 billion by
I'm
itself.
calling it 3 billion.
Yeah, so there's already talk that it's probably going to catch Avatar 2.7 billion. I think it can easily catch that within a few weeks, right?
Wait. Avatar is number one, or is Titanic number one?
No, Avatar's number one.
Avatar.
Avatar's
All right.
number one. Titanic's behind
Avatar, we coming for you,
it. Right.
man.
Avatar's
Look,
Avatar's going
I
to
think
be.
they're going to pass that.
No, it's going.
ASAP.
No, I think it's definitely going to pass it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's definitely going to
I
pass
don't know how I
it,
got-
without question.
To be honest, I didn't like that movie.
What, Avatar?
What, Avatar?
I feel
Look,
like
man.
it was Fern Gully.
I like.
It was Fern Gully. It was basically
I
Fern
will
Gully.
give you that. I'll give you
It
that.
was basically Fern Gully with CGI.
Yeah.
That's all it
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Okay.
So,
small villains.
So Tony
That's
Young's reading the title card of what I kind of wanted to talk about. So the next title of the show that I kind of wanted us to debate a little bit. We're still not going to talk about spoilers about Avengers Endgame. We know how it ended up, And actually on Monday, here's how dope Marvel is, right? And here's how serious they are about the spoilers and holding them till Monday. The final trailer for Spider-Man: Far From Home is supposed to come out on Monday, right? They're putting a spoiler warning in front of the trailer. They actually said, "Hey, do not watch this trailer until you've watched Endgame, because this is going to spoil it for you. If you do, that is so freaking dope." Anyway, so we're not going to do any spoilers. The trailer is coming up for Spider-Man: Far From Home, which obviously is going to give us a clue of what's going to be happening after Endgame. But I wanted to ask a question. Who should be the next big villain for the MCU moving forward?
Now, when
Thanos
you
obviously
say-
was a really
when
great.
you say big,
Yes.
are we talking about throughout multiple
Yes.
phases?
Yes.
Okay, so we're talking
Yes.
big bad.
Yes, we're talking a big
From
bad.
what I've been reading comics and the interwebs, everybody is saying Kang the Conqueror because they are introduced
Time travel.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, we already know that time travel is
Okay.
involved.
It's-
That's already
let's
out
make sure,
there.
let's make sure.
That's
Okay.
not really a spoiler.
Okay.
Everybody knows that time travel is involved. So, and I'm with you. because they've introduced time travel into the MCU, naturally introducing Kang the Conqueror makes a lot of sense. But it also makes a lot of sense from the standpoint that if you didn't know, Kang the Conqueror is a direct descendant of Reed Richards. Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic from the Fantastic Four. And we already know that Marvel has reacquired by purchasing Fox.
You think that was? I think. Listen, what Megatron
Was it by
said-
design?
No. Megatron said that deal been done a long time ago.
Oh,
So they
absolutely.
already knew
Absolutely.
the time travel was gonna be the thing. and-
Where's he, by the way? He needs to be here.
Exactly.
Yeah, he needs to be here on this show.
He's probably over there lifting.
Yeah,
He's doing-
banging
he's
and
doing
clanging
some
or something
type-
like the
right,
rock.
clanging
Yeah.
and banging.
Yeah.
Clanging and banging.
But that's
So-
just the main thing. I think
There you go.
everybody is ready
You're
for
welcome.
Kang and see what he can do because he gonna wreck shop too.
I
Right.
think so. I think it's going to be very interesting to see
Yeah.
if they go that route because that's just, again, one of those far-reaching, just throw it all together, messing with the casual audience's minds that don't know this stuff.
Right.
Because I think, now granted, I want your boy
Yes,
to be in there,
absolutely.
but not as a Thanos-like. It has to be somebody like Kang, or if you really go ridiculous,
Your boy, who
Galactus.
you talking about?
Dr. Doom.
Dude.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
This man reps Doom
on,
all
man.
day, every day.
Well, you had to put a name to your boy.
If you guys seen the show, you see how many times I talked about Dr. Doom.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Now,
Not
with-
only that, I would have been.
Yeah,
paid
true,
mention.
true. But the thing with Doom is that everybody don't realize that the guy is just arrogant.
Yeah, that's cool.
Arrogant is can be.
I know, but
with
that's-
it.
there
The,
you go.
if you read the books,
You're welcome.
The man stole cosmic powers.
Mm-hmm.
That alone should put you the #1 villain.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey.
You want one too? There you go. She's like, I want one as well. There you go.
Absolutely.
But no, you're absolutely right. And again, it goes back to what I've said. If you do Doom, I don't want him to be introduced through the Fantastic Four. We've already tried that 3 or 4 different
Right,
times.
right.
Didn't work. I want Doom to be potentially introduced through the Black Panther movie. And here's why. Regardless of how Wakanda has been isolationist and reserved and kind of off to the side for generations, T'Challa in the MCU joined the United Nations basically. So if Latveria has to be part of the United Nations, Doom is the self-proclaimed dictator of Latveria.
Yeah, but would Doom even be a part of the United Nations?
Out of his arrogance, yes.
Absolutely.
Nah.
Dude, are you kidding me?
Really?
Really?
You of all people.
Yeah, no. I think he wouldn't be part of the United Nations. He'd be his own man.
But he still wants some say so at the United Nations.
Right. He would be there just to talk down to other nations.
Yeah, I can see that.
Come
on,
Yeah, okay,
man.
I can see that.
Listen,
All right, I can see that.
If he wanted to, he would try to take over Wakanda. And if he does that, you know how many people are going to be mad?
Right.
People who non-comic book readers, actually.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I want it to happen just because
But
of
I
Doom's
think
sake.
I think they could do something like that in the sense of that's their tension. It's a diplomatic tension. It doesn't even have to be the straight, bad guy in his costume tension yet.
Right.
We haven't even got there. I want it to be you introduce the character. Doom is just that guy, and then you can eventually work your way into putting him into the costume, have the little tragic, the tragic moment happen, and then that way you can, have his, his whole character expounded upon, and then eventually he butts heads with Reed Richards. We get the full-on real armor, not just a costume, the armor that does all the stuff that the armor can do.
But
We can go that route.
would they talk about him still in Stark's tech?
They could.
Since,
Because Stark Industries still exists, even though, because things happen.
Careful now.
Yeah.
Careful now.
So I'm talking still in Stark tech in general. He stole because his armor is basically the same tech as he stole in the comic books. He stole his tech. So that's what I'm saying. Are they gonna?
There's a lot of different ways they can go with it. That's what makes it so awesome. This is wide open.
Well, here's the only reason I would say Dr. Doom probably wouldn't be.
Can't even wear your mic properly.
Oh man.
I got you.
Thank you. Here's the only reason why I would say Doctor Doom might be the next big villain, but he probably won't be introduced in Black Panther. And here's the only reason why I say that. I think they might, and there's a lot of scuttlebutt saying that Black Panther might be where they introduce Namor. Because they
It's a possibility.
Yeah,
Possibility, 'cause he's the only
yeah,
one that
and definitely once you see in game, there's going to be reasons why
Apparently, The
why people
Rock
say that.
wants to be named. No, I'm just kidding.
No,
Nah.
I mean, you know, do you think how tight do you think some of those DCEU fans were hearing that he might want to talk to, that he's supposed to be talking to Kevin Feige?
Let's just be real. Rock is a businessman, obviously. He's
Yeah.
a successful actor. Was one of the highest paid actors, I think, was it last year or maybe the year before. Either way it goes, the man puts in work.
Yeah.
If you really think about it, having people that play other characters for other companies has happened. Jaimin Hansu has been in both DC and Marvel. A couple other people have done the same thing. So it can be done. The Rock is an actor that commands enough money, presence, has a following that even Disney will probably say, hey, dude,
That's why
we got you over here. We know you're going to be over there too. Do your thing.
And he can easily do both.
Oh yeah,
Easily do both.
That's why Marvel need to grab Henry Cavill to get that Captain Britain going. Get that money.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah, man,
These are all mine. They're, hey.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm glad they made them because again, this is like a collector's market these days. Now that they've started to make stuff that like looks great, put it on your your bookcase or whatever. So they're doing a great job with what they're making. So I'm definitely glad that Marvel and DC and all the other companies are putting together all these good collectibles now.
Yeah, me too.
So
Me too.
It definitely makes it worthwhile.
Absolutely. So the only other big villain I think a lot of people were saying was Galactus coming as a scourge to eat all the worlds. Now, some people might say that Galactus is too
Ridiculous?
no,
Big?
not too ridiculous. No,
it's ridiculous.
no.
He's a cloud of smoke.
That was ridiculous.
ridiculous.
Never ever bring that up again.
Hey, that
ever
was
bring that up. I was so hurt when that happened.
Won't we
You know what the worst
I was
part was?
so hurt.
And they were trying to be sly about it.
You're
too.
right.
Like
'Cause they had
when
that little
showed him-
shadow.
Yeah, the silhouette
the
over
little
the
shadow.
moon looked
Yeah.
like his helmet. And I'm like,
Yeah.
really? They
Yeah.
gonna go there? And then they
Insane.
didn't.
Why would you even remotely think that was a good
I was
idea?
so hurt when they did that. Anyway.
Again, it goes back to studios back then didn't think that stuff could work. That
Yeah.
actually works.
Now, I will say this. I do think that Galactus as a villain is a little too... He's almost a one-trick pony. Like, literally, the one thing that makes him a threat is literally the only thing that makes him a threat.
Yeah.
Because, like, he just goes around, he's eating planets, and he's kind of like this unstoppable force. You can't get in his way. So, as a big villain, would he kind of measure up to a Thanos or even a Doctor Doom or...
Technically, he got his heroes doing all the dirty work. He doesn't really do nothing.
Right.
I
So-
get that.
But at the same
Yeah.
time, when he's there ain't nothing you can do about it.
Oh, no doubt.
Well, and I think that's the other problem with even bringing him in. Because, okay, let's say you bring Galactus in. All of a sudden, like, okay, Thanos was huge. Thanos was great. Thanos was perfectly done. You bring Galactus in, now you on this level way up here, and you beat him. Who's going to follow that?
Who's gonna measure up to that?
It's like, who's really going to follow that? It's like, okay, now you beat Galactus. Now what you got for me?
Right.
And again, there's characters out there that could be a huge threat, could be interesting.
Right.
But let's be real. If you bring it on that scale on the big screen, the audience is going to be like, now what? There's nothing left. It's just going to feel like there's nothing left. So I think Galactus, as much as I wouldn't mind seeing him, I think Galactus would be cool. But I honestly don't want to see Galactus until they're like, we are absolutely done. We're not making any more movies, which Disney's in charge. That ain't gonna
happen for a while.
So,
Yeah, that ain't gonna happen for a
Too
while.
many buku bucks.
Yeah.
oh yeah, he's bringing
Yeah.
in too much
I
money.
think
Like-
the most everybody wants to see Silver Surfer. That's the main
Oh, yeah.
thing people want to
And
see.
yeah, we can get the
And I
Surfer,
guess
yeah.
that's the terrible thing about the Tim Story movies. They did him perfectly. Silver Surfer was done perfectly.
Yeah, he was.
Especially even with the voice of Lawrence Fishburne behind him. He was done by Doug Jones. Like that was his body.
Yep.
But Silver Surfer looked perfect in
Oh,
that
yeah.
movie. He was great.
I mean, they had like all the signature poses, the
Yeah.
chase with
Johnny
Human
through the
Torch
sea-
and
yeah.
Silver Surfer. That was cool.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was done. It was done really well. It's just that was the best part of the movie. It's kind of like
I admit he was the best part of a kind of a really subpar movie.
Yeah.
He was. He
Yep.
was. And Doom, Julian McMahon's Doom hamming it up. Did you like his Doctor Doom?
No. Not at all.
Not at all?
That's not Doom at all.
That's
That
not
was
Doom at all?
The worst rendition of Dr. Doom. Every time they did Doom, it sucked. Why did I don't understand? I know that's their top villain, but they have other villains as well.
Yeah.
And that's why they didn't do the movie justice, because they didn't bring in a Nihilist, or they didn't
Blastar.
talk about, Blastar, or even talk about the Negative Zone.
Or
So
not at all.
stuff like that, it kind of irritates me when they did and I love the Fantastic Four. And they did. They could have brought in the Mole Man in the first movie.
He would have been ridiculous, though, man. Come
No,
on.
he's a terrible character. But at least, seeing the ground come up, all these little minions, whatever. I mean,
Right.
Like, you talk about, if they brought in someone like the Mole Man, nobody will ever take the Fantastic Four serious ever again.
Not
I take
in
it back.
today's climate.
Yeah, not in today's
comic
climate.
movies,
That wouldn't
I
happen.
haven't
Yeah.
seen Mole Man since the cartoons. And I haven't seen him in the comic books, to be honest with you.
He's
Well,
been
the
there,
new
but
ones.
he's never been doing anything because he's
nothing
ridiculous.
Major. He's nothing major.
Yeah, he's nothing major. He's ridiculous.
So what about with the Red Ghost?
The Red Ghost probably would be okay with him and his apes. Yeah, that'd probably be fine.
Well, how?
You know who I want to see though? I want to see the Frightful Four and how they would do that with, especially considering that Medusa was originally one of the Frightful Four. She was already introduced in that terrible Inhumans miniseries. Like, would they just ignore her and put somebody else in the Frightful Four instead,
I think
or would
that's
they
what
just
they
go
would do.
ahead and just do the Frightful Four with her?
I think that's what they would have to do because you've already, again, limited audience may have seen it or paid attention to it, but realistically, that's something that it's like, dude, y'all got to gloss over that, act like it never happened, and then
Like,
put somebody
yeah,
else
we're
in
just
that
we're just
place.
gonna pretend that this didn't happen.
Right.
Like, we're gonna pretend that this didn't exist
But
at
now
all.
think about it. How many other villains do the Fantastic Four actually have? I can't name off too many.
Like, you've got the Wizard, you've got Doom, you've got Blastar, Annihilus.
Blastar's a goofy character.
Huh?
He's a kind of a goofy character.
got-
I'd never forgive him in the old.
Dude, he's a hairy man-ape. What are you talking about? Yeah, of course he
Remember
is.
in the cartoon, in the '60s cartoon, he was laying on the side. What is that? Like, I would never forgive him. Oh, Molecule Man.
Yes, yes,
He's-
So now
I
that
think
you can do a lot
Yeah.
with.
yes,
There's
because
a lot of things
he's
you
a schizophrenic.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you can do a lot with that.
Yeah.
But I mean, and again, it comes back to the rogues gallery of some of these other different teams just weren't deep.
Yeah.
They just weren't.
But I think that's what also helped the Marvel Cinematic or Marvel Universe in general is that they never let one villain stick to one character.
True.
Like, you know, Kingpin started as a Spider-Man villain. He became more known as a Daredevil villain.
That's true.
You know, and
That's true.
you know, him being the mayor of New York, people were against him. He crossed over into being a Luke Cage villain and stuff like that too.
Right.
So, you know, we also had that great run that Kevin Smith wrote with Daredevil, where Mysterio was the villain behind, you know, something that was, I think it was what, Guardian Devil? I think that was that was the name of it. It was a great run, and you know, it was very surprising to see that a cancer-ridden Mysterio was behind, you know, all of the stuff that Daredevil was going through.
Right.
You know, and that kind of really surprised a lot of people. So I think, to your point, I think they would have to get really creative with who they introduce as a villain.
And I think, and again, I don't really have an issue with their creativity because, again, they've been knocking it out the park
Yeah.
for the last decade or more.
Yeah.
So I'm not really concerned about that aspect of it, especially now that we got James Gunn back in the fold. And again, Kevin Feige, he's obviously doing his thing, you know, being the overall producer for all of this stuff. But if you were going to push some of that responsibility off, I think James Gunn handling the cosmic stuff would be amazing because he's obviously shown that he's got a mind for it. He gets it. What he's done with Guardians. Because again, I've said the story many times. I didn't know a daggone thing about the Guardians. Period. To see them be that successful, I know about Drax, Rocket, Gamora, Groot. All of them just like, dude, it's part of my lexicon now.
Right.
Just for him to have taken something that was that obscure for me.
Right.
I mean, granted, I'm sure there's people that read the books, enjoyed them, did whatever. I had never heard about them, didn't really care about them. Saw that movie, was like, oh my God.
Because I
I've
remember
been missing out.
I
So
remember the original one from like, was it 70s, 80s when it came out? Or 80s or 70s? Which one?
I think it was mid-70s, I think, is when
I remember
Guardians
seeing them, but like I said, I didn't pay no attention. I could care less. That iteration of Guardians of the Galaxy. But then
Right.
when they brought on Rock and all them, I was like, oh, okay, I like this whole
Yeah.
setup right now. So,
So I mean, and just to see what they've done with it going forward, and what they can do, and then again, no spoilers, but there's all sorts of things happening.
Hey, Sarah, how are you?
There's all sorts of things happening where they can move forward with the Guardians, go to a different direction. If James Gunn is heading up all of the cosmic stuff, I'd be very happy with that.
Yeah.
I think
And you
that'd be
gotta think
actually
about
really
other
good.
cosmic stuff too. Other, they can bring in the Shi'ar. They can bring in.
I can't wait for them to do that because we're getting ready to go and see that. I don't want it. I want it.
June 7th.
June. That Dark Phoenix movie. The Shi'ar should be all over that. And, okay.
Again, here's why we have to go see that, because that's the end of an era.
Yeah.
That's the end of the Fox X-Men movies.
Thank
Thank
period.
God.
Like, now it's under stronger, better control. So I mean, it's going to be. I want to see what they do.
Yeah.
I
Me
want to
too.
see how they wrap it up.
Because-
It looks like they just decided to take X-Men Last Stand and expand upon it. So,
Because now, didn't they go out of space in the trailer?
I think
Yeah.
that's only for like a half a minute.
Yeah.
So my thing is, that must be one of the reshoots because they realized.
No, I think it was always that.
Okay.
I think it was always that.
But here's what's okay, and again, this is no spoilers to that movie because it's in the trailer.
Right.
But didn't we already see the Phoenix power
You did.
in the last
In
the
Apocalypse?
movie?
Yes, you
So
did.
why are we acting as if the Phoenix power is something they found in the upper atmosphere
Right.
now?
I don't know.
Right.
I don't know.
They're just so inconsistent with it. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous, man.
It's like they forget from movie to movie what happened in the previous one.
Right.
It's crazy.
That's what they're notorious for.
Cognitive dissonance, man.
Right.
They just-
All right. So the next thing I wanted to talk about. So the comic book industry, we're out here for Free Comic Book Day. Comic book industry has been touched, and it's full of Michiganders. And we're not talking about run-of-the-mill people. We're talking, legendary icons of comic book history have hailed from Michigan. We were just talking about Avengers Endgame, right? Avengers Endgame stars, Thanos and, also Infinity War. Well, Jim Starlin, the creator of Thanos, who wrote Thanos all the way back in the day, and created Thanos for Marvel Comics, he was born and raised in Detroit.
Yes.
And that was something that was very surprising for a lot of people. But also hailing from the Detroit area, Jeff Johns, who's
The only
who we-
man that's ever made Aquaman interesting.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. Yes, that is absolutely the case. He single-handedly, in a way, I think he's credited for kind of revitalizing the DC Comics brand back in the mid 2000s. I think when he had already been on the scene because he had written Hawk World for DC, so he did a really good job on Hawkman. But he really broke out when he did Green Lantern Rebirth.
Oh, yeah.
And what he's done with the Green Lantern brand has been so astronomically good. I mean, because the guy wrote the Sinestro Corps War. He wrote Blackest Night. He wrote Brightest Day. I mean, and this guy went on to basically become a DC Comics superstar and parlayed that into an executive position with Warner Brothers to do their DC films. And then, of course, in their infinite wisdom, they chose to ignore him and then fire him. It's ridiculous.
Can't belabor the point, but that goes to when they don't have an actual plan of what they want to do.
Now, was he the one
know.
who pretty much kicked off the New 52, right? In DC? Or that was on DC?
No,
then?
Rebirth was his deal.
Rebirth is
Yeah,
it.
Rebirth was his deal. Yeah.
Yep. So, I mean, we got to get a shot of the products, man. We've been on that one shot for a little bit.
Yeah, I know.
Little bit of
Sorry.
time. We got you.
Sorry,
We got
here you go.
There you go.
Sorry.
Look at it. Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's exactly what Jeff Johns was synonymous for. A lot of this stuff with DC. But we also had Bill Mesner-Loebs, who actually worked with us a little bit at Fantasticon back in the day. He was a prolific writer for DC back in the day and Marvel, and he's remembered very fondly. I know, unfortunately, he passed away. I think last year.
Oh, wow.
He passed away, unfortunately. But we also had J. Scott Campbell.
Where's he from? I didn't know that.
From Detroit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, J. Scott Campbell's from Detroit.
Wow, I should
Yeah,
know this.
yeah, I know it's amazing. Obviously, we were just talking about DC and prolific, writers, and this guy is more on the controversial side. David S. Goyer hails from here.
I know that. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
we can claim him because he did Blade.
No, we'll
First
claim him.
Blade, First Blade.
No, we'll claim him because
Not-
I mean
not so much
it's
Third
notable.
Blade,
Yeah,
But
because he directed that, didn't he?
he
Yeah.
directed the third one.
Yeah, he directed the third one. Man, did you Y'all should watch Sway's Universe video of Wesley talking about the stuff on set doing Blade Trinity.
Oh, I can imagine.
It's hilarious, dude. It's hilarious.
But again, Blade Trinity was Ryan Reynolds' audition for Deadpool.
Absolutely.
That was the beginning of his auditions for Deadpool. So
absolutely.
Let's just be real. Realistically, you got to get both of them.
I got them.
Oh, you got it? There you go.
There you go, bud.
But you can't, you can't discount the fact that David Goyer is from Detroit. I'll give him his credit for being from Detroit. He gets his Detroit card. He was born here and all that, so it's fine.
If we're gonna give David Goyer some a knock for if we're gonna give him a knock for the bad stuff that he did, let's hail some of the good stuff he did. Like you said, he did do Blade. He co-wrote Batman Begins.
Okay,
And Batman Begins was actually really good, good book. So I mean, good movie.
Yeah.
So was The Dark Knight. Batman Begins was a good movie, man.
See nothing in there.
What?
All I saw was
We're not talking about the cinema. That has nothing to do with
he
him.
didn't do that.
There's nothing. The
he
story
didn't
is him.
He didn't direct it.
Yeah, that's nothing to do with
didn't
him.
direct it.
Yeah.
what do you need me? Oh, y'all continue talking. I was just
Okay.
Katie, y'all.
Well, go ahead, man. You all distracted.
You're doing second shift volunteer.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you ready for me?
Yeah, if there's anyone on first shift that is ready for a break.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So we gotta say goodbye to Super Nerd.
Adieu.
All right.
Yep.
See you later.
See you, bro.
Good seeing you.
Gotta work.
Good being on the show.
All right.
All right.
I guess.
So,
Yep. So he's gonna suit up and actually just start doing his volunteer work.
yes, sir.
Um,
Nothing wrong with that. It's good. It's good to have people volunteer because again,
You know what? Honestly, Katie, you got a few minutes? Okay, she's gonna put on her face a little bit and she's gonna sit
All
down
right.
and chat with us a little bit.
Very cool.
But
No, again, bringing it back to the Free Comic Book Day thing, though, it's in the volunteer aspect of it. They got some good volunteers going around. They're, again, comic knowledgeable, very much like Super Nerd, but also the fact that I like that they're doing the can drive. I like that they're doing the, even though you got some free comic books that are being given away, they're also doing a book drive in a sense, taking in some gently used books. So that's also a big help.
and they're not just comic books; they're
not
they're
just
library
comics,
books too.
Yeah, library books. So I mean, it's like that's again making sure that kids are excited about reading all the way across the board, whether it be for the the fun stuff, the comics and all that stuff, and also some of the other used books that are coming in. So yeah, go ahead on past. Look at
pass.
taking
Yeah,
time.
we apologize
Yeah.
for our camera placement. We didn't necessarily anticipate we were going to have this many people passing back and forth
That's
in front
all
of
right,
us,
though.
but that's
It's
okay.
fine. It's
Yeah.
cool. It keeps the show
That's
live.
quite all right.
Know that it's a
All right,
live
so
environment.
joining us right now is the co-owner of Green Brain Comics, Miss Katie Merritt. How are you doing, lady?
I am doing fantastic. I am throwing the biggest party of the year
Yeah,
here
we're
at
over
Green
here,
Brain
actually.
Comics.
We got you right
We're
there.
over here on this
hey.
camera.
There you go.
Yeah. So you've been doing Free Comic Book Day for about 18 years. You said, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
this is
18
the
years.
18th year.
Can
Okay.
you believe it? She's only 30.
Right.
Who, me?
Yeah, you're only 30.
I have been selling
Two.
comics for 30
32.
years.
No, you're only 32.
Wow, she came
All
out the
women are
womb
either
selling comics.
25
How about that?
Or 32. There you
Yeah.
go.
You know what? I appreciate the compliment.
Yeah,
But I
me too.
also like to be able to brag about how long I've been in the industry.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
All
That's
right.
fair.
And I have
So you've been in the industry for how long?
31 years.
31 years? Okay. All right.
I got my first job. I was still in high school at a comic book store.
Okay. Which comic book store? Where?
It was in Wyandotte. It was
Wyandotte?
a store called Comic Gallery. And
Okay.
it was owned
I think I've
originally
been there.
by the owner of the store that was here in Dearborn that we purchased.
Okay.
The owner of that store in the 80s at one time had 4 locations.
Wow.
And so I started at the Wyandotte location. We'd only lasted about a year. And then, it was there longer than that. I was only there a year. Then he had to close the Wyandotte shop and he moved me up to the Dearborn store.
Okay.
And I never left.
That's amazing
wow.
to even
Wow.
imagine that somebody owned 4 different comic book locations, especially in today's climate.
Well,
You
this
know-
was the mid 80s.
Yeah, right. And,
Right.
but it's like it's almost unfathomable unless you're like a really big chain.
Right.
Like a Midtown Comics or something like that.
Right.
You know,
But in the 80s, comic shops were popping up
Everywhere.
And all you needed was an empty store and a couple shelves. And
Right.
then you just threw some comics on it and it was boom, you were
Right.
in business. And, it's a lot more complicated now. But at the same time, people in the mid 80s during the big indie boom and, people were just, it was easy and it was quick. But again, there was always hurdles. So that when they hit those hurdles, they closed that shop, and
Right.
Oh,
then
yeah.
I moved here.
And that was one of the things that we were talking about is some of the difficulties of running a business, period. But also, and I guess this was my next question for you was going to be, how do you keep things fresh and exciting and fun? Because again, you obviously have a love for this and it shows.
Right.
How do you keep that same energy level and that same excitement through the time that you've been doing it?
Well, as you know, new comics, we get new comics every week. So that's always changing and different. So we're always excited about new projects that are coming out, new comics, new books that we're, interested in, that we can promote, that we can stand behind. It's always great. But we also run all kinds of events all year as well. And we try to switch it up. We're doing like book club, and we do like a fun ladies night, and we do like a monthly live art showcase where we have pros, and then we have an artist talk and that type of stuff. Obviously, Free Comic Book Day is like the biggest event that we run, and it's, as I said, it's like the biggest party. So this is keeping it fun and exciting for everybody. It's not that hard when we get new stuff every week.
Okay.
So there's always something new and exciting to promote.
Right. And like you said, you're doing what a lot of, and again, in my experience, just some of the different shops I've seen, I don't really see events like you're talking about, like the different, the book nights and the artist nights and those sort of different things. A lot of shops don't do that. They're just, hey, come in, buy your books, you get your pull list, and that's kind of it.
Right.
You guys are a lot more welcoming.
We're super community community oriented, to where we really try to get people into the shop, whether or not you're into comics. But I know that other stores tend to do more things like open gaming, or we do an open gaming, but I mean like collectible card game. Like we don't have a
CCG.
Magic Night.
Okay, right.
So instead of having a Magic Night, which is nothing wrong with that, it's great.
Oh, yeah.
It's just not in our wheelhouse.
Right.
So we let another store do that because they can do it way better, and then we do something different. And actually, it helps balance the industry in the sense that every store has their unique niche. So we're not all in direct competition.
Right.
I'm not competing for Magic Night with the next store for their Magic Night. It's
That's pretty nice.
They do that, and then we do our thing, and then everybody wins because we both have a unique event.
Right.
And then the fans in the area get to go to either. They can attend both, and there's no repetition.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense.
We have an open gaming day, and it's tabletop games. So we do the board games, and have that once a month. People can come in and they can play any of our demo games, and we run demos and show people how to play new games.
Wow.
And so that's our part of the gaming scene, but we know that people call us up, Yu-Gi-Oh cards, that type of stuff, which is great that they're interested, but that's just not. That's not what we're focusing on.
I see. See, and again, diversifying, keeping things fresh, keeping things exciting, and like you said, something new every week.
Right.
So I wanted to ask you, you've been doing Free Comic Book Day for 18 years, and obviously you've seen its growth over that time. What do you love most about Free Comic Book Day that comes around every year?
I love the excitement of people that come in for the first time and say, wow, I didn't realize that this is what a comic book store was all about, which is the whole goal of the event. It's to get people into the comic book store that may not have otherwise just browsed in on their own. It gives them a reason to come in, and it gives them that free taste sample. So the idea was sort of conceived out of free ice cream day that Baskin Robbins runs. And they only do it for like a couple hours because it's a mob. I've gone to it, and it's a giant mob.
I can imagine it's much like was it Free Slurpee Day where at 7-Eleven, dude, it's crazy.
Yeah. But the concept is come in and try something that you wouldn't otherwise try because you don't want to risk the money.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm going to try a weird flavor of ice cream that if I don't like it, I'm not out anything.
Right.
Exactly. And that's the same thing here. You can pick up all these free comics, and you can try all these new stories that you might not otherwise have picked up. You might not want to pay full price for it to get it home and decide you don't like it. Exactly. But you might, the goal, the ideal is that you find your new favorite book. You pick up some free stuff, you love it, then you come back, you see what else we have, you buy the full version, you buy the next chapter, whatever the story is in the free one. And it's that risk-free entry, And then it's also a big party. So we have the local creators out back. You can discover some new new things. You can support the local scene. You know, it's just a fun time.
And I think that's the other important thing, and Ken and I were talking about that at the open of the show, is the fact that you guys are almost like this community hub, especially on Free Comic Book Day, because like you said, you got the food trucks out there, different things that you can try, you know, food, you know, trucks that you may have never even seen before. Now you're familiar with them. It's like, hey, I remember them. Or, you know, I caught them over at Green Brain when I was at Free Comic Book Day.
Exactly.
You know, so it's you guys are just helping grow businesses, not just yours, but all the other local businesses that are tied in. So that's also a great thing. The thing I love most about Free Comic Book Day for me is you got the books for all ages, from young all the way up to my own age, but you get kids excited about reading. Not even just the aspect of, okay, it's a free book and it's free, it's Star Wars book or whatever it may be, but they're reading. Right. And to me, I've always liked it as like if kids are reading, that's already a head step, in the right direction. Versus.
And they're excited.
Yeah,
they find the properties that they recognize or find something new, and you can see the excitement. They're like, look what I got. Yeah, they're like, look what I got.
Exactly.
Right. And they're all super excited, and that's my favorite part of this whole entire job is when you see the kids come in and they find what they're happy about and they get really excited about it.
Exactly.
And
so
it makes it all worthwhile.
And I think it's also important to say, because they are getting excited, especially when we were growing up or when I was growing up, a lot of my parents were concerned about what it was I was reading, not that I was reading. Like, they hated that I was reading comic books.
Right.
But the comic books were making me want to learn a lot of these words that I was seeing, because even though they were in pictures that I was trying to follow along, it was a lot more engaging to me than, say, a novel or a short novel or something like that. It had no words. It stimulated my mind by seeing these pictures.
I'll tell you what, there's a reason that early reader books are Apple.
Right.
And the thing is that society tells us that we outgrow that. But your brain
does not.
Doesn't, that's how your brain learns. That's how your brain functions. Your brain is visual and language. Yeah. And when you combine those two together, it doesn't take away from the experience. It actually enhances the experience.
Right.
Exactly.
And that's exactly what comics is. You have the visual, you have the language, and you combine them together, and you get the most unique form of medium.
Yeah.
Art form, because you're drawing from both of those things, and your brain still loves it. Yeah. Even though you're not in preschool anymore, it's only society that tells you it's just for kids.
Well, and the funny thing about that is and it's funny when people say stuff like that, because it's like, okay, when you learn a new language, guess what level you start at?
Yeah,
right.
So it's the same thing. So I mean, for example, I bet I could probably learn Japanese or Spanish a lot faster if I was a kid reading a free comic that was in those different languages.
Yep.
The association will be, one-to-one almost.
Right.
So I think, and the other thing that's funny, and like you said, your parents were saying don't read comics. I'm sorry, comics are new mythology, they are mysteries, they are science fiction, they cover all of those broad spectrums that, yes, there's novels that do it too.
I learned more about history from reading comics because it is more engaging to have that visual with it than any, dry textbook.
Exactly.
Sometimes the books that they give teenagers to read about, this war or this ancient history, and it's so dryly written. It's not engaging to someone that's 15.
Right.
And it's a struggle to get through those classes. But if you were to have given me a graphic novel version of that historical time that the teacher wants you to study, it's way more interesting.
Well, okay, one example of that for me, and this is one that I noticed for me personally. In high school, we all had to watch Romeo and Juliet. Everybody's seen the old 1970s, I think, Leo Zeffirelli version.
Yeah.
And then Leonardo DiCaprio comes out after I graduated high school, of course, with this high-octane, really stylized version.
Yeah.
And it's just like, if they would have showed this,
I'd have been more
I would have had zero problems with the Shakespeare test.
Exactly.
So, and I think it's just how things just change. The nature of how things evolve and change.
Right. And I've heard more stories about people learning how to read from comics and expanding their vocabulary from comics because, like you said, it puts it into context. So
now,
and this is why I've made a career out of it, because I feel that it is so enriching to so many people's lives.
Right. Awesome. So I wanted to ask you this as a almost final question. So we know that the comic book films have been blossoming over the past decade and a half. how many new readers do you see come in based off of what they see in the movies that have never even considered comic books as a medium that they would enjoy before?
We definitely see a bump, but not enough.
Okay.
I feel like that there could always be more. And if everybody that went out and saw Avengers actually even just walked into a comic book store, it would be amazing. Like, we'd be booming. But too many of them just say, "Oh, that was great. You know, I'm the biggest Avengers fan ever, but I've never stepped foot in a comic book store."
Oh, yes. And they get into arguments with people like us who read the Avengers, know the Avengers more than they do, and all they have is their basic movie knowledge. And we're like, well, really, he's really not like that. Their powers really aren't like that. That's not really what they do.
I mean, it's a different universe. It's
Yeah.
a different take on it.
It is.
It's still valid.
Yes, it is.
But for someone that knows it from the other medium, and to be able to say, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It is.
So it does pique interest. Like, we did really good, like the Infinity Gauntlet trade paperback, which Infinity War was based on.
Right.
Okay.
You know, did really good. You know, The Watchmen, when they made the Watchmen movie, we sold a lot of Watchmen. You know, and it does bring the people in here. It brings a lot of people in here that are curious. You know, they just want to kind of expand or get more, get a backstory.
Right.
You know, Walking Dead was huge for comics.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So weirdly enough, a lot of people would come in and not even realize that it was a comic. They'd be like, "Oh, do you have that comic based on the show?" And I'm just like, "Let me tell you how it's been on for 10 years before the." It was like to say with Infinity War when they were like, "Can you believe what happened?" I'm like, "Well, I know that's how that story ended for like 20 years." You know, so.
And you know, I think, you know, you highlighted something too because of how so many people don't realize how many of the popular or some of the properties out there have origins in either graphic novels or by comic books. Because that I think it won an Academy Award, right? A History of Violence.
With Viggo
Yeah, it
Mortensen?
did win.
Yeah, it won an Academy Award based on a graphic novel.
Yeah.
You know,
That was good.
and a lot of people did not know that. You know? Road to Perdition. Yeah, Road to Perdition.
Oh,
with Tom
yeah,
Hanks.
You know?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, they've done a lot of different books and a lot of different graphic novels have had crossover.
Excuse me. Hi.
Hi.
Hi, this is, we're doing an interview back here. Were you looking for something in particular? I was looking at your computer.
He's just looking at my computer.
Oh.
Okay.
Checking out your computer, man.
Oh, cool. So yeah,
May I?
no, but yeah, please do.
All right, I'm going to have to get back to work.
All right, we
Unless
appreciate
there's anything
you.
else
Appreciate
need
you
from
coming
me
by.
right now?
Yeah. We appreciate you coming by. We appreciate all that you do for your community, and we love you and we love Dan. We want to thank you for inviting us out. You know,
We appreciate all you guys
I
do.
love Dan an extra amount now because of this Star Wars song that he's playing right now.
Star Wars disco song,
Just
yes.
saying.
Yeah.
So, big shout out to Dan for the Star Wars theme in its 1970s disco style.
Thank you,
Awesome.
Katie.
Well, thank you guys
Always
so
a
much
pleasure.
for being a part of our event. We
No.
appreciate it. We think it's an extra added value to the
Well,
event.
thank you.
And
We appreciate you
anything
inviting
you
us.
need from us, just let us know.
All right, thank you very much,
Don't forget
Katie.
to get your lunch ticket from Sarah.
Oh, absolutely
All right.
not. We won't forget that. No, I won't forget.
Thank you guys.
All right, no problem. So, you know, the other thing I kind of wanted to bring up, getting back to the comic book industry being full of Michiganders, one of the
Michiganders.
yeah, Michiganders. You know, that's what they call us, Michiganders.
You're welcome.
So, anyway, we were talking about David Goyer and how we were crediting
On
him
purpose
for
this time. We're
yes, on
talking about
purpose.
David Garner on purpose.
Yes. We were crediting him for some of the good things that he did, like, for Batman Begins, but he also did Crow City of Angels, which was, was that a good, well-received film?
The Crow was good. The Crow
Okay.
City of Angels was so weird.
It was weird. Okay.
It was okay. Here's what I didn't like about Crow City of Angels. It was essentially supposed to be that girl, not Shelley, the little girl from the first movie.
Yeah.
Was supposed to have grown up, moved to Los Angeles, and fell in love with a guy that came back as a crow. And I'm just like, that's your connection. Now, granted, I wish to goodness Brandon Lee would not have passed away the way he did. It's tragic.
Yes.
He could have obviously been in the sequel and they would have just carried on or did whatever. But I really wish that The Crow, City of Angels, was a better show. Here you guys go. There you go. I wish that the Crow City of Angels would have been a better movie. Now, I did have Trini Tran in it from Power Rangers, one of my favorite people.
Yep.
But I mean, overall, the Crow City of Angels, it just seemed like they were just trying to up the ante. Can we kill in a more gruesome way? Can we have a villain that's just more ridiculously satanic or whatever than the first guy was? You know, Top Dollar, at least for what he was an interesting villain. Yeah, it didn't make any sense what he was doing. It's like, how is starting fires on Devil's Night profiting you unless you're an insurance dude, you know, getting insurance money or whatever. So it's just like, his motivation was weird, but at least I liked the actor playing him and he did a good job. Crow City of Angels is like, the guy was, the villain was a black guy, I don't remember the actor's name. He seemed like he was such a caricature, just trying to be
He's trying too hard.
Trying too hard. I'm like, come on, man. It just didn't. That's why, like I said, I didn't like it as much as the original is the classic. So I mean, that's where it is.
Yeah, I agree. So all right, so
but of course, James O'Barr was the creator of the Crow,
and he's also from Michigan.
Detroit, from Michigan.
From Michigan, born in Detroit. Yeah. So
which I really still wonder how he felt about seeing Detroit depicted the way it was in that movie.
Oh, I know, right?
None of those buildings are that close together. Like, not like that.
Right.
You ain't running on rooftops in Detroit, man. Not like that.
Not, no, absolutely not.
Still cool though.
That's not going to happen. So we talked about the history of violence.
Yep.
The creator of History of Violence, Vincent Locke, was also from the Metro Detroit area.
Yep. Yeah, he was.
You know, Dan Mishkin, who was the co-creator of Amethyst, the Princess of Gem World, and Blue Devil, which are DC characters.
True.
Yeah.
True.
And Amethyst is actually in the Young Justice books, which is in the Wonder Comics imprint, running on DC right now.
Okay.
And we already talked about Jim Starlin. Mike Manley, who created Darkhawk for Marvel Comics, was born in Detroit as well. So, you know, Michigan has a long storied history, and obviously our former boss, Arvell Jones, is from Detroit.
Creator of Misty Knight.
Creator of Misty Knight.
Yeah,
you know,
so, I mean, I think that's the thing. Michigan in general has always been like a just vortex of talent, like period. I mean, obviously, even if you go into like the music game, Eminem, I don't care what race he is, dude is super talented.
Yep.
Period. There's no argument there.
Yep, and legends like Smokey Robinson, Stevie Wonder.
We can't even. Motown in and of itself is already a whole section. But and it even in music, techno was born in Detroit.
Yep.
So there's just a lot of things that come out of Detroit, Michigan in general. It's just it's undeniable, man.
Absolutely.
And hey, we're great, and you guys bask in our greatness. Because I mean, that just seems to be what happens when it comes down to Michigan and the pool of talent that comes out.
Right.
So we almost winded down. I guess we got to switch gears to the big topic, man.
Yeah. So the only other thing I got for us to talk about right now, actually, it's not on the list, but I wanted to talk about today being May 4th.
Okay.
Today being Star Wars Day, along with being Free Comic Book Day.
Normally, yes.
Yeah, and one of the things I wanted to bring up was, what were some of your favorite Star Wars comics? Even if you're not reading a lot right now, like which ones would you like to see, or like or even on the shelves out here in Green Brain Comics? Well, because Marvel has the license now.
Oh yeah, no, my favorite Star Wars book, and it's going to be obvious for anybody that knows me, has been the Darth Vader comics that they've been bringing out.
And they're written so well.
Oh yeah, they're written well. They capture the essence of Vader as a character. I love some of the side characters that they bring in, like Dr. Aphra and some of the other characters that are kind of supporting his stories. But they are going back to making you feel just how outright powerful Vader is. They're going back to that.
Yeah.
And I was so happy to see it in Rogue One when they did it. It's just like, this is why the Sith and Vader and the dark side is fear. So and those Vader books are capturing that.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, up to that point, before those Vader books came out, and even before Rogue One came out, it was like, yeah, Vader's a bad dude. You're supposed to fear him. But you only got that inkling because they're telling you that you have to fear him.
Right.
You don't really see it unless you're reading the novels.
Oh, yeah.
If you're reading the novels, then yes, you're going to get that. But in comic book form, a lot of general people aren't necessarily reading the novels, so they see the Darth Vader comic book, and they're reading, all the exploits of the Dark Lord of the Sith, and the constant twists and turns of navigating being the Dark Lord of the Sith, the Empire, you always got dudes, gunning after you for that prestige to be the Emperor's right-hand man.
Yep.
Because, currying favor with the Emperor goes a long way in the Empire, and, the Sith, by nature, the Sith and, their following, it is almost like you always have to be looking with one eye over your shoulder.
Sleep with one eye open.
Right, exactly.
But
so,
and you're absolutely right with that, because even some of the admirals and the generals and the people they was dealing with were trying to scheme and find their way to get in his position, and it's just like. It's like, you're going against Darth Vader. Are you crazy?
Right.
Have fun with that.
I have to admire some of those people that actually get the cojones to do that. Because it's like, this dude has force powers. He has a lightsaber. You cross him, nothing can stop him from coming after you.
Exactly.
So, but that doesn't ever stop someone from trying. So it's amazing.
Exactly. And again, they're doing a great job with those books, and again, a lot of people were mad when Disney came in and said, boom, we're cutting off all the expanded universe. It's now considered Legends. And again, I have no problem with that either. Again, they have to understand, if you are going to do something, and especially coming into a universe as broad and expansive as Star Wars is, you have to have a ground zero that's like, look, this is all the stuff that we are doing. This is the continuity that we represent. Some of these other little threads and stuff coming from all these other different directions are just going to mess with things that we want to move forward with.
Right.
So I had very little problems with, hey, oh goodness. I was watching a video actually about that. What Takeem is referring to.
Yeah, that's Tony Young. He's you're right.
Tony Young. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He was referring to a Star Wars book that I think it just came out.
It did.
Yeah, just recently.
I think it's Vader Dark Visions.
Yeah.
And it's issue number 3.
Right. And Vader has
a stalker.
Has a stalker. So she didn't want the button. That's okay though.
Yeah.
No, but Vader has a stalker that's you got to read the book.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to spoil it. It's
Right.
just hilarious to see that even Sith Lords have fanboys and fangirls.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
it's it's not a funny story. It's tragic.
Yeah.
But for me, it's funny because I got some dark sense of humor.
I think I also really appreciate, like you said, the Dr. Aphra books, but even the regular Star Wars line, which picked up after, is actually living right now in between A New Hope and right before Empire Strikes Back. That's where it's kind of residing right now. And they just suffered a huge betrayal from someone that they were building. It was like they covered the story of how the Mon Cals ended up joining the rebellion and building the Mon Calamari cruisers for them. And they had amassed this big, armada that they had, and then someone that Princess Leia had befriended. Who was a princess of a mining colony that that the Empire was also after.
Right.
But she befriended her, and they were just getting ready to launch these new ships, and then the princess betrayed them to the Empire.
Right.
And then all those ships were just dead in the water, full of the entire, they were manned by everybody that's in the rebellion, and Star Destroyers just came out of everywhere and were just Vader was there, just systematically taking them out one by one, just cruelly closing their fists around their throat. It was something else. It was great.
Yeah. There's all sorts of stuff going on, and and again, it goes to show that if people just sit back and just let it breathe, these stories are going to flesh themselves out. These various interesting things in the universes are going to be happening. So people just got to just sit back and just let it happen. So sometimes I think fandom gets so caught up in, oh, I would have did it this way, or this is what they should be doing. It's like, you do realize there's millions, in some cases billions of dollars on the line.
Right.
And yes, fans have great ideas. There's no doubt about that. But there are plenty of times where fans come up with these really crazy, convoluted things that would not work on screen or on a TV show or in various, avenues, because it's like, look, you have to take into account there's people that are not as invested as you are in these different properties. There's going to always be that person that's just discovering it for the first time.
Right.
And if you got to come in and that's what I think the MCU does so well. Yes, there's going to be storylines and through points and things that you may not be aware of, but if you come in at any point, there you go. You come in at any point in the MCU, yeah, there's a little bit of catch-up needed, but you can come in at any point, get a good story, and then, hey, you'd be interested in something else. Oh, okay, I might check out this. No, this is the second Captain America movie? Oh, okay, let me check out the first one. Or there's another one? Okay, let me check out that. At least with that, you're coming in at a level where it's like you can expand your knowledge. Some fans like have this idea that this needs to be so out there and complex. It's like you do realize you're going to lose 50% of your audience, which means 50% of your money, which means the studio's not going to hire you again. So, I mean, I think a lot of fans have to take those types of things into account, just when, you know, they're trying to get these ideas out there. Or here's the other thing. Start your own company, get your, you know, your film skills up.
I know, right?
And you put a movie out if it's so easy or if this is all they need to do and all that other sort of thing. So there comes a time when the fans have to kind of step back and let the artists, the actors, the directors, the producers, and all that do their thing and let things move forward. Because Kevin Feige's already shown when you have a plan, what, $15-17 billion later. I mean, come on now. He's doing something right.
Right. And I'm going to be honest, man. I honestly think, I know there was some talk about Bob Iger at some point stepping down within the next, like, couple of years or something like that.
Right.
I totally can see Kevin Feige, you know, slipping right into being the president of Disney based purely off of what he did with, what he's done with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I'm not saying that he will get it, but I could definitely see it.
I don't think he would. And here's the reason why. All right, Feige is an amazing producer. All right, for those that don't know, Kevin Feige was an assistant on the original 2000 X-Men movie. He was the guy that made the suggestion as to Wolverine's hair being styled the way it was. He made the suggestion of them doing that because, you know, it was a callback to the comic books.
Right.
And that was his thing that he pushed forward, and they ended up doing it. And again, a lot of people made notice of that. Hey, they at least try to get his hair, styled in the way. It's because of him. Now, fast forward. Yes, he's the president of Marvel Studios. There is a very fine line, and actually not even a fine line. There's a pretty much large difference between running a studio that's focused on a very particular thing. They're focused on filmed entertainment. President or CEO of Disney has to be in charge of not just filmed entertainment, parks, brands, all these various things that Disney has their hands in. That's not an easy position to be in. Yes, he is an amazing producer. I do not know if he's going to be the guy that's going to run everything that Disney has their hands in.
Yeah, I can see
that takes a whole different type of dude.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not saying he can't do it because obviously he's a very highly skilled, intelligent man. But you got to be a different type of person to be in charge of something that big. Yeah, and that's just my take on that.
Yeah.
So
that'd be cool. So we got about 17 minutes really until the stream is over.
Well, hey, Marvel is. I mean, we've been kind of sprinkling it in here and there, but the MCU and the best hits of the MCU will fill 17 minutes pretty
quick. The best hits. So you want to go at? Let's have a little fun with that.
Some of the favorite moments, obviously, no in-game spoilers, but just going back, man, because it's been 11 years.
So you want to do that, or you want to do? We want to rank our top 10 MCU movies that we've seen. We got 22 movies to pick from.
Top 10, man. You know how hard that's going to be?
No, I agree. It's going to be.
Okay.
We can come up with a consensus number one.
Collaborative. Okay.
Okay, so collaborative. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, because I was about to say, I can't do 10 right off the top of my head.
Right.
Now.
And I don't think we can do them in any particular order.
Nah.
Really.
We just got to. All right, let's get it out the way.
Okay.
Everything the Russos have done is on the list.
Yep. So that would be Winter Soldier. That would be Winter Soldier, Civil War, Infinity War, and Endgame. So that's 4 right there.
4 already.
Right.
So we just got to come up with another 6 movies.
Okay.
That are part of that top 10.
All right. So I put Iron Man on that list. The original Iron Man.
Okay.
I put that on that list just because of how important it was to the MCU itself.
All right. I'll agree with that because, again, Iron Man showed that this thing could work. And I think it showed for a lot of people that Robert Downey Jr., you know, he was going through a rough time at the time, you know, in his life, personal demons, that sort of thing. But it showed when they focus because he's extremely talented. There's no doubt about that.
No doubt.
So it shows when they focus his talent towards something that he believes in. Because I think that was the other part of it that made it work so well, is they gave him Tony Stark. They didn't want to at first. They were reluctant.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Favreau and according to him as well, Terrence Howard had to kind of edge them towards, you know, because again, he was a troubled guy. Because, you know, remember the drug thing and all the stuff he's been going through.
Yeah.
So he was a loose cannon that is kind of like, man, is he even going to show up on set? Is he even going to be able to work? Are we going to waste money because he's got to go to rehab and we scheduled all these shoot days? So they had that concern. And rightfully so. I mean, if you got a rep, you got a rep.
Right.
So they actually, you know, pushed him. Have you seen his audition tape? I think it's been.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they showed,
And I think it was the confrontation with Christine.
Him and that reporter.
Yeah, Christine, I forget her name, or her last name.
Right.
But yeah.
So the fact that he did, you know, so well in that, he dedicated his time, his effort. Go ahead. Oh, never mind. He dedicated his time and his effort and everything towards getting it done and doing it well. Obviously, the movie made money. He's the only person that I could ever see playing Tony Stark in anytime soon. Period. Like they got to cast around Tony Stark if they're going to do, you know, another Tony Stark.
I don't see them doing that again.
Right.
And you know, especially like to your point about Robert Downey Jr. You know, think about how much him landing that role, him knocking it out of the park as Tony Stark, how much that turned around his career and his life. Because like at that time, like you said, he was troubled, and since then, he's almost become, he's definitely become the darling of genre entertainment of geeks everywhere. He's become the darling. Like he can do no wrong. This guy.
Right.
He went on to become Sherlock Holmes,
Did
a great job with that. You know, and other stars. I haven't really seen him in too many other films, but because he hasn't had time. And also, I think because he genuinely loves Marvel and what it's done for him, that he became almost like an ambassador for the MCU everywhere he went.
Yeah, and that's the important thing, and that's the important key. Because Robert Downey Jr., Chris Hemsworth, Chris Evans, all those, like, you know, Make-A-Wish and Children's Miracle Network and all the various charity, you know, work that they did through the MCU, showing up in costume, you know, coming in character to these different children's hospitals, that in and of itself, whether you like or hate Marvel, DC, whatever, you can't take that away, because that's something that needs to be done. That's the type of stuff that, like, you know, you got kids that, you know, have cancer or whatever. All these various just, you know, messed up stuff. And it's like, it's hard to get smiles on their faces. But for Tony Stark to walk through that door and sit and talk with him for a minute, or Captain America or Thor or Superman, because Henry Cavill does it too, man.
Yes, he does.
So it's like the fact that you have these actors taking time out and not just being the actor and, you know, the kind of, you know, for a lot of people, they're untouchable. He's like, you never see him or whatever. But for them to take their time out and to go to these hospitals, do these different visits, that's awesome, man. So just
Silk Penny just gave us a great compliment.
Silk
Penny was like, "You guys are doing great. Keep at it. The audience will come." We appreciate that. We really do appreciate that. Thank you very much. But okay, so
that's Iron Man. So that's
Iron Man. So that's 5, right?
Yep.
So we need 5 more movies.
5 more movies.
Guardians of the Galaxy 1, Volume 1.
Definitely, because like I said, took a pretty much unknown property for a lot of people, made it like household names. I'm sorry. As much as, like I said, we grew up with Superman, Batman, all those different things. Superman is obviously a household name. Never will ever. Nothing will change that. Batman the same way. Nothing will change that. Wonder Woman, to a lesser extent, but for a lot of girls, Wonder Woman is a major hero, and I have no problems with that. But Marvel took a lot of their lesser-known properties and elevated them to that status. Everybody knows who Captain America is. Iron Man, Thor, Star-Lord, Groot. Groot, probably more so than even Star-Lord, is like the darling and star of Guardians of the Galaxy.
Especially after you turn into Baby Groot. Oh, man, it was on.
So just the fact that they were able to take, again, me 15 years ago, I would have looked at you to be like, man, you gonna dig this Guardians of the Galaxy book. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like, that would have just been, no, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Come on, man. You look at fast forward, and I got like 3 different Groot like things in my.
Do you really?
Collection. Right. I got 2 dancing Groots. I got the dancing baby Groot. I got the dancing like in the pot Groot, and then I got like a baby Groot statue. So,
dude, that's too cutesy for me to even think that you would put in your collection.
That's what I'm saying. The fact that it's transcended and gone that deep.
Yeah.
I never liked Captain America when I was a kid.
True. Right.
And Cap is my dude.
Yeah.
So it's like.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That just goes to show that they're doing so much with the, they didn't have a lot, but they made it work.
Okay.
So Guardians is definitely on the list.
All right. So Guardians 1 is definitely. Oh, we're forgetting one. The Avengers, the original Avengers.
Okay.
Got to put that.
Okay, that's fair. And that was I can't believe they're doing this. And wow, when they did it, I didn't believe it was going to be that good.
Yeah.
So
right.
That's definitely that's always going to be on a list of top 10, whatever. Because again, the Miao Yin doesn't like it, and that's okay.
Oh, dude, but one moment,
that moment when they finally came together,
yes,
was like, that to me is that's a cinematic history.
Yeah, that and the crescendo of the theme was just it just gives you chills.
It was such a perfect build-up.
Yeah,
because they literally started that fight off. Iron Man holding it down. Just, dude, immediate threat response. Okay, here's what's going on, Army, let's go. So he starts fighting. Black Widow, Hawkeye, and Cap get to the fight when they get to the fight. Thor, he can fly, he gets to the fight. Everybody's doing their thing. They get a little bit of a lull in the battle.
Then here comes
Banner.
Banner.
Comes Banner on his
little
moped. So Banner shows up, and it's like, hey, we got him. Banner, yeah, good. You tell him to suit up. I'm bringing the party to you. So, I mean, it was such a cool moment for them to just do that. And like you said, it's that build-up, and it's just, I'm always angry.
Low-key, I think we should definitely do a show one time, or at least a segment on the top 5 most iconic themes in genre culture history, because the Avengers theme is on it, because it's got to be on it. I mean, along with Superman, the Superman theme that John Williams did, the Imperial March that John Williams did. Literally, I could make a top 5 list, and really, four of them could be John Williams songs, because the Indiana Jones.
John Williams is another one that has his own category.
Right, he does.
It's not.
He's a legend. He's an icon.
Right, it's like he's untoppable.
Right.
In the sense of stuff that our childhood themes.
Right.
Because he did Superman, he did Star Wars, like you said, Indiana
Jones.
Jaws. E.T., Jaws. He's done a little bit of everything.
Right.
And Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Right.
So he's done it all in that regard.
And the reason I bring up, the Avengers theme, because it's like, we're talking about that moment. But you think back on it, every time in all of the Avengers films, when that theme starts to build into its crescendo, it's like you're just sitting up in there, you're just like, oh man, here we go. It's like, here we go. Because like you think about it, in the original Avengers, it happened like that. In Age of Ultron, it happened like that when they were surrounded by Ultron's bots. But probably the best part was when Thor came to Wakanda. When and Stormbreaker just went out and he grabbed a hammer and the theme hit and it was just like, it was like so dope. But then the last one in Endgame, when it hits, it's the most awesome thing ever.
When you see the Endgame one,
yes,
and again, it goes back to it. Alan Silvestri is the guy that did the Avengers theme.
Back to the Future.
Yeah, Back to the Future. He masterfully put that together, because what I like about it, because as you know, Avengers has been my ringtone since 2012. I did not change it until the Infinity War came, because he put the trumpets behind it and it had a much more powerful sound. The variation he does in Endgame is so powerful.
So good.
You're going to be sitting there like, and the worst part, here's the thing, this is what I love about music in general. The fact that music takes you back to that moment.
That moment, yes.
And no matter when you hear it, it takes you right back to that moment. It's such a connection. So for everybody that's seen Endgame, you know what I'm talking about. For everybody that hasn't seen it,
You gotta see it.
You will feel it.
Yeah, you
when
gotta
it
see
hits.
it.
So
All right, so
we're at number 7.
We're at 7.
Right, so we need 3 more.
We need 3 more movies. Okay. I don't think Ant-Man deserves it.
Ant-Man, but
I like it, but I don't think it deserves it.
Yeah, Ant-Man is not a top 10,
Yeah.
but Ant-Man was a big surprise.
Yeah.
Ant-Man was a very big surprise because, again, we're going back to characters that I didn't, again, I'm a comic book reader. I know about Hank Pym. I understood the whole dynamic of his character. I got it. Still wasn't a person I was all that concerned about. He just wasn't. He was just not somebody that was important to me, you know. But, we got Kingpin in the house, man. What's going on?
Holding a Spider-Man too.
Right,
holding a Spider-Man baby.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Thanks for-
Good.
Yep, doing well, man.
Good.
Doing well.
So now it's starting to get hard. Now it's starting to get hard to get
Of course,
3 more movies.
Because do you put Homecoming in there? Because
I was just getting ready to bring that
A lot
up.
of people were like, Homecoming wasn't that good. It could have been. It's like, are you kidding me? Homecoming is the best Spider-Man movie we've had in a
Since
long
Spider-Man 2.
time.
Yeah, since Spider-Man 2, without question. I will put Homecoming in there
Okay.
because Tom Holland was great.
Yeah. Best Peter Parker
Yes.
that we've ever had
Yep.
in my mind. And his Spider-Man
is great.
on point.
Yes. But Michael Keaton as the Vulture might put it over the top for me. Especially that one scene in the car.
That's true.
Especially that one scene in the
That's true.
car was full of so much tension.
Yep.
Especially after what Peter was feeling when he opened the door.
Oh, yeah.
When he was picking up
I
picking up.
remember
Yeah.
because I saw when I saw that I was out of town. I was actually in I think I was in Cali. Yeah, I was in Cali.
You were in Cali?
And I remember, again, it was a virgin audience first night, and when that door opened, it was just like oh man.
Yeah.
Just that collective, just like,
You're just like,
are you kidding?
dude.
Dude cannot win for
Right.
losing, man.
That old Parker Luck, man. What can I
Yeah.
say? That
Yep.
old Parker Luck. So I'd put it on there.
I agree.
Okay.
I agree because again, it's bringing him back into the fold. It had, it had been a long time coming. I really wish that Civil War advertising would have kept under wraps that he was back. I wish for the first time,
Oh yeah.
if you were a fan and you saw Queens come up on the screen, you would have knew what was about to go down. Because again, you know where Spider-Man's from. But if it would have literally been the first time you saw him in costume, would have been when he flipped in, grabbed Cap's shield, the audience would have lost
their minds. Dude,
Because,
I think Super Nerd would have wet himself.
oh yeah,
He might have wet himself.
without a doubt, man.
Because he was crying when it happened. I was in the theater sitting right next
Oh,
to
yeah.
him. Even though he knew it was coming, he still was crying. But if it had happened,
All right, so Homecoming is in as number 8. We got
Okay.
2 more spots. Now, as much as I like the first Thor movie,
I do.
Ragnarok is probably going to be in that list because it redeemed, for a lot of people, it redeemed the character that a lot of people got either bored with. Now, granted, the ladies out there like Thor because he looks, it's Chris Hemsworth. Let's just be real. But the whole Ragnarok was such a character shift, an evolution of the character, changing of tone, and it worked.
Okay.
So I put Ragnarok in there, and also I liked Kate Blanchett's Hela.
She was great.
Yeah, I thought
She was
her
great.
Hela was really, really well done.
Yeah,
it
she was
wasn't
great.
over hammy, goddess of death. It was she felt wronged by how she was treated.
Yeah.
And she was back for revenge. And
Yep.
doggone it, when you back for revenge, you don't mince words.
Right.
You just go in
You just go and
wreck
get it.
shop.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I liked it. And again, Jeff Goldblum is
Yeah, as
that dude is a national
yes, as
treasure.
Grandmaster, yes.
Yeah, Jeff Goldblum's Grandmaster was amazing.
Okay.
So,
So we've got 9 movies now.
all right. So what fills number 10?
Number 10.
Because all the Russo movies are already in place. So what fills
The
number
original Avengers is in
10?
there.
Hold on, Dan's
Hey,
here.
what's up?
Hey,
Dan could probably answer this.
If it's about a movie, probably not.
probably not.
Oh, it's a Marvel. It's a whole Marvel overall.
Look, this man is too busy. He never gets out to the movies like he wants to.
Okay, fair. That's fair. we've got all the top 10 MCU movies out of all 22 movies. All the Russo movies are already on there. Spider-Man: Homecoming is on there. Thor: Ragnarok is on there. The original Iron Man and Avengers is on there. What do you think would be number 10?
Not the first Daredevil movie. My wife is still
No,
mad at me for
no.
that.
We're just talking about MCU. From Iron Man to...
So we're talking Iron Man, Iron Man 2, Iron Man 3, and Incredible
Iron
Hulk.
Man to Endgame.
Let's see. So Iron Man 2 is not on it. Iron Man 3 is not on it. Incredible Hulk's not on it yet. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 is not on it. Captain Marvel's not on it.
Black Panther's not on it.
There you go.
But does Black Panther deserve number 10?
Yes!
Is it that?
Absolutely.
Yes!
Okay, well, there you go.
Mostly because I've seen it.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go. That settles it.
I did it.
That settles
All
it.
right.
I've seen it twice.
All right. Hey, there you go.
All right. That'll work.
There you go. That'll work.
All right, so Black Panther rounds out the list at number 10. Thank
All right,
you.
cool. Thank you. All right, that actually took us to our 2 hours.
All right.
So we're done.
Oh, hold on. Damon Lowe's actually right, not Cap.
What?
None of the Caps outside of Winter Soldier and Civil War.
Is that what he said?
Well, no, I mean, I guess maybe he didn't hear the part about, all the Russo stuff.
Oh yeah.
So
And
maybe he missed that part.
maybe he must have missed that part.
Right.
Yeah, he must have missed that part. Tony Young is like, best moment, Cap Winter Soldier, Cap Shield getting caught by Winter Soldier. I can see that.
That was cool.
I can see
That
that.
was definitely a very cool moment because it was just like, what are you gonna do, man? That's your main weapon that you
Right.
left throwing around. He just caught it like it's nothing and threw it back at you,
Right.
harder than you threw it.
Right.
So I thought that was.
I
kinda
thought it was
cool.
pretty dope. But yeah. Anyway, man, guys, we've had a great time entertaining you for 2 hours.
Oh, yeah.
We hope that it's not too late. It's only 1 o'clock Eastern time. You can still hit your local comic shop and pick up some of these free books. If you
Definitely
actually
do
do
that.
come down to Green Brain, make sure you bring some canned goods with you so you can get as many
And
books as you
good
can.
Gently used
books.
No covers falling off. No pages missing.
Right.
Undog ear all the pages.
Right.
Because people hate that.
Steam them boys if you have to.
I was looking for you.
Yeah.
There you go, dude.
Yeah. So we again we want to thank Dan and Katie for at Green Brain for inviting us out to be a part of their Free Comic Book Day festivities.
We'll definitely be here next year.
Yeah, we'll definitely be here next year. But next time you can catch us next Wednesday on our live stream at our regular time, 8 p.m. Central Time, 9 p.m. Eastern, where we're taking the gloves are off. Spoilers time for Avengers Endgame.
Avengers.
So we're gonna talk all about that and a bunch more. Detective Pikachu comes out next week, and also
your own
we're
on
starting.
that one.
Yeah, no, but actually it starts the summer movie spectacular. So we can talk about all the summer movies coming up. So make sure you follow us here on Facebook or subscribe to us on YouTube as well to follow us, all the good Culture Junkie stuff. So for my friend GQ, I'm Kishiro. We'll see you guys on Wednesday, hopefully. Have a great night.
Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day. Go see Endgame again. Let's push it up to over 2 billion this week.
Oh, it's going to make 2 billion. It's definitely going to make
I
2
want to
billion.
destroy Avatar.
Yeah, it'll do it. All right, guys. See you later.
Have a good one.